D Miami Sports Music, salute. Bless up. We got Finger Licking live.
Turn over chain, 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 turn over chain. You seen big homie get a fumble, he get a turnover chain. Seen big homie get the pick off, he get a turnover chain, 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 turnover chain. You see the whole crowd going user. We want the turnover chain. See the whole crowd going crazy. We want that turnover chain, turnover chain. Turnover chain is deeper than jewelry, deeper than blink. It's deeper. See, this is our thing, and you as the team is strictly for Cant. Invented the swag, you rented and brag, but we want it back. Let me get that. But you can keep the old one, cause we keep something new in the bag. All of these players is hungry, don't come in here thinking it's funny. We aiming for something, rocking the chains when it's sunny. Even when raining or slumming, we ain't gonna be slumming. I hope your quarterback don't think it's sweet. The defense will make them take a seat. And if somebody strip the ball out, then somebody get accumulate. Now you know how I go with the fans though. We be going wild all in the stands though. If you're not with the team, you're not familiar. If you throwing U's up, you're not familiar. Come on, get loose like a band, trombone, blow 305 up, my home, CWA. Tell them about it. All the canes going wild when we yelling this out. Turn over chain, 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 turn over chain. You seen big homie get the fumble, he get a turnover chain. Seen big homie get the pick off, he get a turnover chain, 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 turnover chain. You see the whole crowd going user. We want that turnover chain. See the whole crowd going crazy. We want that turnover chain. Who that?
So low, deep. So low, deep.
It's some canes over here. It's some canes over here.
Yeah, this your boy Frank Boy.
Hey, what's up? Y'all know who it is, man. It's the Dolphins D. We already in here. Ready to turn up this year. We gon' get it.
Welcome to Hard Rock Stadium.
We gon' defend it. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad. We got the whole squad with me now. Train to go. Come play games if you want to. Try to crash eyes, you done took the wrong route. We gon' crash in you like a stunt dude. Check y'all like 1, 2. Tap your head like your uncle. You wanna ride, stay buckle. It get loud down here, get wild down here. Turn the field to a jungle. Never disrespect the squad that's defended by a line. And some beasts on the feast on the opposition. Another line in the back, sing it to the ER. Just in case you got through the first line with tripping. But if for some reason it get crazy, I got watchers on the corner for my safety. Everybody here well coached. Change the weather under pressure, stay cool like an AC. Woo! But we still make heat. Woo! Who is you trying to play me? We be 3+ AD, but I'm a fool so low. Can't nothing break me. Be great, only way to do great things. Hit hard, only way to make a statement. Come up in our territory, make a payment. Or be in debt with your neck, gotta play. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad. We gon' defend it. Homie, this side. We gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad.
I hit them boys. We throw them toys. Y'all saying that QB? We them boys. We the realest. We go gorillas. We out here, homie. You gon' feel us. Don't make me come down. In that box. like I'm red. I'll knock your socks. Won't play y'all boys, cause we some bullies. We'll take your cookies, cause y'all some rookies. I'm in the building, me and Shot Jones. We do lane, we don't play zone. We play that man, so guard your hand. I see your eyes, you're scared
We
man.
gon' defend it, we gon' defend it, we gon' defend it. Homie, this side, and we gon' defend it, we gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad, 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 his squad. We gon' defend it, we gon' defend it, we gon' defend it. Homie, this side, and we gon' defend it, we gon' defend it. Let me hear you say, his squad, 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 his squad.
Hey boys, shout out Solo D. Shout out to DWA. Let's eat.
Yo, Solo! You know they been saying you gotta make a hit squad part 2. But you know, man, we hungry this time, man. We gotta eat this time. Yeah. Back in the beast mode. AFC was trying to rap up the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay on one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the O-line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stand one route like the busway. I say and not quote. Go hard or go home is the motto. A pick or a sack is the lotto. Let's cook them like Emerald Lagasso. My bad, Lagasse. He going south, that is not me. Hungry for greatness, so I eat. Stay in my zone like a Bobby. Jumping off the edge like E and Shaq. Straight pressure, never even back. Protection on the way you gon' get wins. Split through the middle like Wilkins. Got some backers on the back that's gon' back me up. Straight action, we be acting up. Tell Coach Drop his best plan, but it still get snatched by X-Man. Cause we back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap up the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay on one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the O-line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stand one round like a buffet.
Eating like a buffet, it be a long day. We ain't gon' play. Yeah, them boys green, no subway. Pick the ball off X and BJ. I don't care about what he and she say. That's nonsense. Check and replay. I work overnight and it's early morning, but I'm turned up cause it's game day. They don't really want it with your boy. O-line really get destroyed. Ex-Patriot, Cal Van Noy. Put him on his butt, hurt the hemorrhoids. What's a grown man to a boy? Jam him at the line, dare you to throw it. Disciplined coach Brian Flores. Never getting rattled to the boys. Fans better pay attention, need the social distance. I got a witness and you know we blitzing, but mind your business. Christian Wilkins on the line of scrimmage. Far from timid, pushing to the limit, revving engine. You know we gotta get it, Nick Nitty. You know we gonna bring it, bang, get it. Take it to the business. Fins up till my life is finished. Say it with my chest cause I'm in it. A lie, know why, I admit it. New era, yeah, our division. A win streak, we just keep on winning. So I lose and tell them suck a limit. Bills with the Jets and New England. Miami top dogs where you hear me.
Back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap up the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay on one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the O-line like a buffet. Eat the coach up fan base like a buffet. Stand one round like the busway.
So low, D. So low, D.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Here's your boy, Stephen D. And we are live here on Miami Sports Music. That's right. I'm so glad that y'all are here. If y'all want to check out my man, TD Fins Talk with my boy, TD. Live on his YouTube channel at TD Fins Talk. Make sure you guys go check that out. He's been down with the gang for a while now, and I'm definitely excited that he's part of the team. But without further ado, people, I'm here. What's going on? Good morning. How y'all doing? What's up? Good morning. This is Clock Blackers. I am your host, Stephen D, live on the #1 Miami morning show for Miami fans across the world. Miami across the world. Breaking out the Heat gear today. Okay. Definitely ready for some Heat basketball. We got a great show lined up for you today, but we're going to do things a little bit differently than what you're used to seeing. Okay. And there's a reason for that this morning. The reason that I'm going to be doing that this morning is of our guest. Our guest is going to come on about halfway through the show. And by the way, we're going to have overtime this morning, okay? Just because I want to talk to him about some things, and I don't want to make sure I don't miss anything. I don't want to make sure I get in there and have a good time, right? So before we get started, what I do want to make sure that y'all do this morning is check out the YouTube membership, all right? My boy Vic this morning, shout out to Vic. Vic says, good morning, Stephen and Finn's fans. Vic became the newest member of our YouTube membership package this morning. He got on at 7:30, an hour before we got on, to make sure that he became the newest member of our channel. I want to give a big shout out to Vic. I love you, brother. I'm glad that you're part of the family now. I know some of the other people are going to be getting on a little bit earlier. Chef Zhu, I'm sure he will be getting on soon. And I'm just excited that you're here, man. And I want to see more of y'all become members like Vic. So make sure y'all check that out and y'all make that happen, because I want y'all part of the family too, right? I want to see y'all come in and enjoy the family membership packages. You guys can see there. We got 3 different packages. So what you guys are going to do is go to the homepage of Miami Sports Music's YouTube. You're going to click join, and you're going to see all the packages, and you're going to choose the one that you want that suits you best, and then you're going to come on, and you're going to enjoy some perks, and we're going to have exclusive content just for you guys, and you guys are going to get exclusive discount to the Miami Sports Music shop. Get some DWA swag, right? We got a whole bunch of other stuff too coming your way for the members this year. And I'm pretty excited about some stuff that we got lined up for that. Also today, right? Today, I want you guys to obviously chat it up with us and Mr. Alex Donno himself, right? So what I want you guys at some point today to do is I want you guys to get in the Dolphin chat, and I want you guys to chat it up with us. But we got to have a lot of people on this morning. I already know that because it's going to get a little crazy. We got people all the way from the UK watching. We got people in Germany watching. We got people in Australia watching. So it's going to be fun. So what is going to happen this morning, because I know people are going to want to ask Alex some questions, is I want you guys to go in and donate to the channel and get your comment seen and put on the show. Your donation helps our channel grow. All right. So YouTube Live has a thing called Super Chat. So what I want you guys to do, if you guys want to get your comment onto the show today, make sure you guys are able to do that, and do that with a Super Chat. If you are already a member, I'm going to take care of you guys, right? So don't even worry about that or sweat that. And in the meantime, if you guys have not subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're doing with your lives. All right. All right. Now, let's see what we else got going on here. Vic says, Chef Jew is my Dolphin homie for sure. Hope to meet him at a game this year. Definitely. Gonna make that happen this year. Flipside Fishing, I see you this morning, my guy, man. I hope everything's good. All right, so like I said, today we have a special guest. Today's special guest is going to be Mr. Alex Donno. Alex is going to come on in about 20 minutes. And obviously, because Alex covers all Miami sports, I want to go over all Miami sports with him. So today we're going to do things a little bit different, work our way backwards, which means we're going to start out with some Dolphin chat today, right? Right, because that's what we do. We do what we got to do for the fans, so the fans get what they need and what they want. So let's start out with that, right? Let's start out with some Dolphin chat. So yesterday, was a voluntary mini camp, and it's usually rookie camp. But what was allowed to happen, because there was no rookie camp last year and no training camp, is everybody's allowed to show up, if I'm correct. So yesterday, the Miami Dolphins had over 70 volunteer players show up. And the reason that is, right, the reason that you were able to see that is because there was a deal made, according to Ian Rappaport yesterday on Twitter. The Dolphins had more than 70 players at OTAs today as a result of a negotiation between the players and Coach Brian Flores to lower the exertion level accordingly. Players showed up to learn. I don't know about you, but I can tell you right now, in past years, there is absolutely no way people would have shown up for this, for any coach, right? And so it's definitely interested to kind of see what's going on with that, because to me, it just says what a guy like Flores is all about. Flores gets what's going on with the players, because if I'm correct, the NFLPA told them not to show up. They told these players, hey, guys, we got a statement to make, do not show up. And the Dolphins are like, nah, man, nah. We got to go to this thing called the Super Bowl. And we got to put in work. We got to grind. So it was really cool yesterday to kind of see the photos on Twitter all day yesterday of people like Tua. And it was really fun to see, because I want to see these guys develop a rapport from the beginning. And for me, that's what it's all about. A-Rod, part of the channel. Good morning, all. Miami Sports Music. I'm watching while working from home. Because, A-Rod, that's what you do, man. You're always grinding. But you're always supporting the channel, and I appreciate that, big guy. A-Rod also says, welcome to our newest member, Vic. Vic, welcome again, buddy. Definitely. I want you all to be more like Vic. All right? So get on the channel, become a member, like my man A-Rod, like my man Chef Zhu. And you guys can definitely do that. This morning, I want to be able to talk to you guys and get your comment onto the channel and go back and forth with you. So YouTube Live has a thing called Super Chat. So I want you to go ahead and donate to the channel, get your comments seen. You guys can do as little as 99 cents and put it on the show, right? Your donation helps our channel grow. And let me tell you, we got a lot of things going on this year. A lot of things. I was up I was up to the wee early morning hours. I only got about 3 hours of sleep. I'm working on 3 hours of sleep. So this is me on 3 hours of sleep with no coffee, right? So, yeah, I want to see you guys go ahead and do it, man. So what I want to kind of talk to you guys about is this, right? If Coach Brian Flores is bringing up 70-plus players to come in and learn, what does that say about the team? Because I don't see this anywhere else. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but I don't see this anywhere else around the league. And so for me, that tells me a couple things. That tells me the players want to learn, the players want to win, and the players respect the hell out of Coach Brian Flores. And I don't know about you guys, but I remember Joe Philbin days. I do. I remember watching that. I mean, it was so hard to watch Hard Knocks that year. Right? It was cringeworthy. And it really makes me mad that is the year that Hard Knocks covered the Dolphins, was the Philbin year. Because, I mean, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, there's like 3 incidences on that Hard Knocks that I can kind of point out to that were like, ugh, right? Vontae getting traded. Vontae wanted to go call his grandmother. I mean, Philbin just was not in touch with his players, right? And that, you know, I mean, you got to read the room. You got to know the player that you're dealing with, right? And then the other thing was obviously, hey, man, I'm going to go get arrested this weekend. And then 12 hours later, that man was arrested and then subsequently released from the team. Mr. Chad Ochocinco, who, by the way, I love Chad. Chad got the short end of the stick in that thing, if I am correct, and what I have read and everything. So, I mean, look. It's definitely been interesting. Hey, guys, while we're waiting for Alex, I have a special guest for you. But right now, we only have 8 viewers, right? So this is what I need in order to bring this guest on. We got 6 likes. I need 4 more likes. You give me 4 more likes, I will bring this person on, because I know y'all want to see him. I know y'all love him. I know y'all like him. If you want to see this person, I need you to bring me 4 more likes onto the page to get to 10. You give me 10 likes, I will bring this person on. Right now, he's in the waiting room. I know y'all like him. Y'all listen to his music every Sunday to get yourselves pumped up, right? So I want to make sure that you guys go ahead and do that, because I'm going to bring this man on once we get to 10 likes. Make sure you share that viewer too. I'd love to see us to get to 20 viewers, right? So I definitely want to be able to do that. 7 likes. Come on now. 3 more. 3 more likes. If you have not hit that like button, I need you to do it right now. Okay? I need you to go ahead and hit that like button right now. I need 3 more likes to bring this person on. I know y'all want to see him. I'm not bringing him on until you do it. I know y'all want to see him. I know y'all do. There's 8. 2 more likes. Give me 2 more, and I will bring this person on. Because I know he's eager. He's ready to get on. He's ready to talk to y'all. A-Rod said, speaking of Hard Knocks, who do you think will be the team feature this year? I'll get to that in a minute, A-Rod. Don't think I'm not coming back to that. A-Rod, grinding to make this channel better for all of us. We appreciate it, Stephen. Respect. My man. My man. I appreciate that. All right. Let me see where we're at. Let me see where we... All right, there we go. 11 likes. All right, I'm going to bring this person in now. Y'all know him. Y'all love him. The one and only, the honorable. Hello.
I'm not worthy of such an introduction.
You are all echoey because you're in the gym right now, aren't you?
I think we might have problems.
You are all echoey. Sounds all types of echoey. Echo.
Hold on. Is this better?
That's a little bit better.
What about
so you
now?
you said you wanted to speak to the masses. They're listening, sir.
Man, I just wanted to, just publicly commend you.
That's better.
I just want to publicly commend you and salute you for what you're doing with this channel right now. I'm loving the morning show. I'm a fan. I was really trying to listen while I worked out, but, since I'm a replacement, since I'm still in, then, I'm going to check you out, man, and come in and check everybody out. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'm just excited about the future, man. Dolphins going to the Super Bowl. I'm watching fans say, we're going 11-5 and 13-3, and I'm trying to figure out who those 3 people are. Because we're not counting losses. You understand? Period. So I'm just getting ready for a Super Bowl season. Kane's going to the championship. The Heat about to go to the finals. We feeling good right now. The Heat need to win 16 games to win another ring.
Hey, Solo, Eric Carrier's in the building, just so you know. I wanted to throw that out there for you.
Eric not like me right now. Eric is upset. Look, Eric was a big Boston Celtics fan. He's acting like he's not now. Like, now he's saying he doesn't even watch games. And he'd have beaten the Celtics by like 20 points. So I'm not even watching the game. But you ain't a Celtics fan no more. You might as well be a Heat fan. Watch it. What they in a play-in or something like that? Like, come on, man, get up here. We don't want to talk basketball. That's my guy, though. You know what I mean? He's DWA, he's certified, he's deep in, all that good stuff, man. Shout out to
our member from the channel, Chef Zhu, our very first member, said, what's good, Solo D?
What's good, Chef? What you cooking, bro? I'm trying to find out what the chef life is like, man.
Hey, if you guys want to ask Solo a question, I'm going to only have Solo up here for another couple more minutes, and then we're going to get back into the show. But if you guys want to ask a question, you guys know what you need to do. Donate to the channel. Get your comments seen to put your comment on the show. And your donation helps our channel grow.
Can y'all hear me clear?
We can hear you. We can hear you somewhat clear because you got your headphones in, but we know you're working out. I interrupted your workout this morning.
No, it's all good. I'll take them off. Hold on.
It's better?
Oh, this is 10 times better. Yes, 10 times better.
Come on, bro. We got to have good quality, bro. We want to be on here sounding crazy. So, yeah, I hope y'all heard everything I said. I was just doing what I do, man, talking trash.
Eric Carrier says, go Bruins.
Okay, that's what I meant. He don't watch basketball no more. But now, you know what? Go Panthers. You know what I mean?
That's right. They won last night, man.
Yeah, go Panthers.
They tied up the series 1-1. We're going to talk about that this morning. A-Rod says, my man Solo D himself, because of your music, I was able to find all these super fans. We appreciate it. That's our one of our members from our channel, A-Rod.
That's love, A-Rod. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate even being in the position to do that, man. I didn't know what we were doing, bro. I just, like I said, I like talking trash, bro. I mean, I started this just to talk about the Jets. So it's crazy. It's all it's all organic.
See what this has grown into 10 years later?
Yeah, it's crazy. You know,
and then Vic, our newest member who joined at 7:30 this morning, an hour before we went on the air, says, "What's up, Solo? Good to be here."
Big Vic, what's going on, man? He got a pool in the background. We need to come to his house. Pool party in his house.
I don't know. Hey, Eric just sent $9.99 from the super chat. Eric supporting the channel. Steve? He ain't got no question though. He ain't got no question to go with that.
Nah,
but Eric, I appreciate the love, Eric.
Steve, you getting money, man? Let me hold something.
This goes to making the channel better. It makes the channel better. Support the show.
No, so like I was saying, especially if my quality wasn't good, I definitely want to be clear about that. I want to publicly salute you for what you're doing, man. Like, you're really taking this brand and moving it to another level. Y'all see, I'm kind of like, I'm not the best personality with this type of stuff. You know what I mean? Put the beat on, give me the microphone. That's how I talk, man. But Steven, man, it's good to see you in your element, man. Like, I think you were built for this, man. So I'm excited to see what you're doing and what you're going to turn it into, man.
Hey, man, I couldn't do it without you, man. You built the foundation. We're doing it together, brother, and we're gonna make it. We're gonna bring it all together. Eric says, "Hey, find me a house. You can hold that $10 to my closing cost." Hey, if you guys are in the South Florida area, this gentleman right here is a certified real estate agent. Go ahead and tell them where they can find you.
Definitely. Actually, that's what I'm trying to work out right now. I was showing at 11, but definitely, man. Anybody need to move to anywhere in South Florida? Anywhere in Florida, because I can connect you with another agent. But in South Florida, you're in my territory, and I can definitely help you with that. You need to buy, you need to sell, you need to rent, anything. That's Delonte Copeland business right there.
Fernando says, "Why you working out so early, Solo? Who you trying to impress?"
You. That's my motivation right there. I'm trying to show up in a tank top this season. Look. If y'all don't know Fernando, man, you gotta know him, because any picture you see in the deep end, it's the only one in there looking like Brock Lesnar, mixed with Triple H. Matter of fact, no, he look like The Rock for real. You know what I mean? That's my dog, man. Good man. I'm trying to keep up with y'all.
Hey, Solo, before we get you off, we got 14 likes. Tell the people we need to get to 20 before you get off.
I think we can get to 25 before the show's over. You know what I'm saying? And let me say this: we definitely. I'm glad you're pushing that envelope, because you know YouTube has a formula, and it's about algorithm, and we definitely need everybody to be interactive, man. So we appreciate it.
Can't hear you. You hit the mute button or something.
No. Somebody started to call my phone. Don't call again. So listen. Definitely, man. Y'all keep helping out with the algorithm. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Even if you don't like it, hit the dislike. I saw we had 4 dislikes on yesterday's show. I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
We need the haters,
look,
man.
We need all that energy. You know what I'm saying?
We need that.
Look, if you don't like us, tell us you don't like us. You know what I mean? You still helping with the algorithm. You know, we big boys over here, man. But anyway, man, like I said, this is for the fans. This is something that we naturally are. We naturally Dolphins fans, naturally Hurricanes fans, naturally Miami Heat fans. Y'all know me. This is a hometown thing for me. I'm putting on for the city, 305 Dade County at all times. I love everybody around the world.
16 likes, 4 more likes. We need 4 more likes.
Shout out to SoCal too. Use that. I don't know if you tell them. Anybody that's in Southern California, y'all need to link in with the SoCal Dolphins Club. They're doing a cookout this weekend. They do it every year. We didn't do it last year, obviously.
You're gonna be at that, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. So anybody in Southern California,
you guys can see Solo on the West Coast in a few days, huh?
Yeah, Saturday. So, and to that point, like I said, man, it's all family. So, shout out to everybody. And like I said, we're going to Super Bowl. But the Heat and the Panthers, I'm not too heavy into hockey. I'm getting more into it. I went to a few games and I liked it a lot. But you know, I'm repping anything.
There's nothing like play. Hey, Solo, I'm going to tell you, like I was trying to tell people yesterday, there is literally, with the exception of Dolphins playoffs, right? There is literally almost nothing better in sports than playoff hockey. Playoff hockey is exciting as I don't know what, man. You got to check out playoff hockey.
I went to a regular season game And I thought that was crazy. So I can only imagine.
So, hey, Solo D, don't forget about FIU, also in Miami.
Hey, Raj, you're right. But you know how that is, especially since they beat us 2 years ago. I used to want to go to FIU. I used to go there.
Hey, Raj, you got to remember, this is Mr. Turnover Chain himself.
But no, he's right, though. You know what I mean? It is. Don't get it twisted. I would never rep FIU in my life, but as putting on for the city, for sure, FIU is a staple. They have to be respected. I got people that went there and played football there. That's the school we all grew up in.
We need 4 more likes before Solo gets off. I need 4 more likes, people.
And look, in the grand city of Miami, shout out to FIU, but that's it. That's as far as it goes. Y'all know it's the U all day.
So I will tell you, some people have been asking about what you've been doing in the lab and what you've been cooking up and what you got ready on deck this football season.
You know what I say most important? We got to track with TD.
We do got to track with TD.
That's all I can tell y'all. We got to track with TD coming.
That's we got to track with TD Fins Talk, people. I heard it. It's good.
I heard it. And he did his thing. And it's going to be an anthem. You know what I mean? I know anthems when I hear them. So this is going to be a good one. Musically, you know, every team I'm doing a Miami Heat video next weekend. The Dolphin song, the first one is going to be the one with TD. That's going to go crazy. We got a Kane song coming. I'm doing more original music this year. And I want to put out basically general songs. You know, I'm still do the weekly music, but I want to have like a good project of original music that's timeless, that's not about a game, you know, just anthems for the fans. And I don't want it to all be rap. So actually, if you listen to this, I need different artists too. Like I want to do like different genres as well and put together stuff, man, just all for us, man. So everybody.
Somebody said a little bit ago, let me try to find the comment. They wanted you, Estefan, Solo D and Darius Rucker on a track. Let's go.
That's good. I met him too. I met Darius Rucker a few years ago. It was super cool. I would love to do that actually. But yeah, that's what I mean. I want to. This year is all about expansion. Like I want to do stuff different this year and bigger and on a different level. And I want to incorporate more people. So
hey, real quick. My wife says she brings life to the mic. I just
got she got bars. I heard her bars. I remember that bit of verse. What was that, like a year ago, right?
Oh, don't blow her head up, man. Because I'm the one that has to live with it.
But listen. I do have to get into this gym, man. I love y'all. Thank you for letting me call in. Steven, keep doing your thing. Keep shining. And
I love you too, brother, man. I'm so glad that you got on this morning. We're going to have Alex Donno up here in a few minutes, and we're going to talk. We're going to get into overtime. We're not going to.
I'm on my protein, all that. We about to get right. All right.
All right, brother. Have a good one, man. Love you. All right. That's the honorable, guys. The honorable Solo D in the building this morning. Look at that. We got up 23 people, and we only got 16 likes. I need 23 likes if 23 people are watching, which means there are a few people that did not hit that like button coming into the building here. Make sure you guys do that. Guys, we're going to have Alex Donno on here in a little bit, and we're going to talk the rest of Miami sports, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more Dolphins football. In the meantime, I want to go back to a question that somebody asked before my man Solo D came on this year or this morning. Let me go back to it. Who asked the question? Speaking of Hard Knocks, who do we think will be the team featured this year? I'm not sure who's even available because there are, you know, you if you've been on it in the last 10 years, you don't have to come on it. If you've been on the playoffs the last few years, you don't have to be on it. There's a lot of different things. I want to say they actually already chose it, if I'm correct. Let me go in here and see eligible Hard Knock teams. The eligible Hard Knock teams this year, they said the top 5 are the Dallas Cowboys, or excuse me, they are up here. The Arizona Cardinals, the Denver Broncos, the New York Giants, the Carolina Panthers, the Dallas Cowboys. If they put on the Dallas Cowboys, I will be mad. I would be so upset. Because first of all, they never should have got the Thursday night game. It's so disrespectful that Dallas got the opening game against Tampa. And I understand that Cowboy fans support their team and they tune in to watch. But they should not have been the opening game for NFL. They didn't deserve that. They did nothing to deserve that game at all. And so I was so upset when I saw that. And it definitely just made me, very frustrated. I mean, look, my vote, looking at these 5 teams, I mean, I would have to say the Arizona Cardinals. I'd like to see Kyler Murray. I mean, that's a stacked Arizona squad right now, right? That's a stacked Arizona squad. Why wouldn't they? That would be the team I would think Hard Knocks would want to go to and the NFL would want to showcase. So my vote would be for the Arizona Cardinals. That's the team that I would want to see. A-Rod says, that sounds like the Detroit Lions. Yes, definitely. Finsanity 5, I love this show every morning. Finsanity, tell the people in the chat room what they need to do, right? Tell them they need to hit that like button when they come in through the door, right? Tell them they want to sign up, become a member. That's what they want to do. A-Rod, me too. I wouldn't mind seeing Carolina Panthers being in North Carolina. I barf when I hear about the Cowgirls. I know, it just makes me so upset that they got it. I mean, seriously, if you guys think about it, the opening game should have been Miami and Tampa. I mean, that's what everybody was talking about, right? Why Dallas? Why does Dallas consistently? I know the answer. This is a rhetorical question, but they consistently get 4 to 6 games every year, no matter how bad they are or good. Primetime games. And it's frustrating, right? And people will say, well, your team needs to get better. It doesn't matter how bad Dallas is. They get the primetime games. And I get that you're going to put them in Sunday night. I get that you're going to put them on some Monday night games. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is the opening game, which should feature 2 teams that did respectively well the year before. Dallas did not, people. Get that opening game. So I was really pissed off that they let that happen, right? A couple of other things I think you're going to see this year too is Monday night games can get flexed towards the second half of the year. So it'll be very interesting to see when that starts occurring, them switching off or flexing Monday night games, because that means ESPN will be getting better games on Monday night, right? And let's get something straight. I love sports and I love announcing. I hope to announce myself one day, some play-by-play. But I have to admit, one of the worst ones up there is ESPN. And I like Steve Levy. Let's get that straight. My vote, but I just feel like ESPN consistently year in and year out makes the wrong decision on their Monday Night Football crew. Wrong decision every year. They had Pat McAfee. And there's no reason that man shouldn't have been in a Monday night booth. No reason. They did the ESPN Megacast a few years ago for the national championship game. And they had Dan Orslowski and Pat McAfee on the sidelines. And if you guys had a chance to hear these two on national TV doing the game, it was must-see TV. I mean, they had me cracking up the entire time. And that's the other thing that you're going to see, too. You're going to see sports run differently. You look at YouTube channels, right? You look at guys like our partners in crime, right? Like TD Finns Talk or Doug Lee Durong. Give them, by the way, go to their channels. Make sure you subscribe and like them. Check them out if you haven't already. I don't know what you're doing with your life. But those two guys are watching the game and interacting with fans while they're watching the game. People don't necessarily want to hear the play-by-play people anymore. Now, I am a purist. I love play-by-play. As a kid, I know it's weird. I love baseball, but I listened to Vin Scully because I could get Dodger games on the AM at like midnight. So I love Vin Scully. So I love play-by-play guys. So for me, it was more than that, right? It was more than, hey, what do I need to do to, be able to make that happen? So what I want to be able to do is as Amazon approaches their package with the NFL, you're going to be able to hit a button and you're going to be able to watch play-by-play with somebody that's not a play-by-play person. It'll be, somebody on a Twitch channel. It'll be somebody that's, a fan or a former player or a musician, or that's what the NFL is going to come to. Mark my words. Okay. Play-by-play people are on their way out the door. That's going to happen. So, it's interesting. That's why platforms like Miami Sports Music are ready to grow and are willing to grow, and they're going to keep it up, right? All right. Hey, Alex is just running a little behind. Like I said, we're going to hit the overtime today. So I want to make sure you guys are locked in and tuned in with Alex as soon as he comes on, because we got a lot to talk about this morning with Alex, right? And so it'll be good times. We're definitely going to have a good chat with him. We're going to talk a little bit about the Miami Heat, the Florida Marlins, Miami Inter FC or CF, as well as I said the Florida Marlins, the Miami Marlins, the Florida Panthers, the Miami Heat, and then we're obviously going to come back and do our circle back to the Miami Dolphins, because I know people want to be able to look at that, right? Hey, donate to the channel. Get your comments seen. If you have a question today or you want to interact with me, put your comment along with a super chat donation and get your comment seen. Your donation helps our channel grow. If you already are a member, somebody like my man A-Rod, who says, hello, Fantasy, I appreciate your insight on past shows. Or Chef Zhu, hey, Finsanity. Finsanity is very popular here, people. Finsanity is part of the team, too. We love Finsanity, right? Or like A-Rod, right? These people become YouTube members of Miami Sports Music. And all those guys that are watching right now, why don't you tell the people what they need to do so that they can become members? And what they also need to do is hit that like button on the way in. All right? We need more likes. So if you have not hit that like button yet, make sure you guys go do that right now. All right. So here's one other piece of news and notes, right? So yesterday, the Miami Dolphins, obviously, I already reported that they had 70 players show up to their camp, their volunteer camp. And I was trying to make a point a little bit earlier and say that that is very interesting, because a lot of people, see, I'm going to have to pause for a second, because I got the man, the myth, the legend on himself, right? So let me go ahead and pull this off screen. And I'm going to bring in my man as soon as he sets up his camera here. What's up, man?
What's going on, Steve? How you doing, man? Sorry,
what's going on? Mr. Alex Donno is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, brother?
Not too much, man. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late and $1 short, but as you know, South Florida traffic can be a real pain in the butt sometimes, man.
Hey, I've already told people we're going in the overtime a little bit today so that we can talk some stuff.
Into the OT. I love it.
All right, man. All right, well, let's kind of get started because people have been waiting all morning. Remember, guys, if you guys want to get your question in for Alex, go ahead and hit like to that video right now. I need you guys to hit like, and go ahead and also hit a donation for a super chat to get your question on with Alex, so Alex can answer that for you this morning. All right, what I want to do is kind of go ahead and this is the rundown. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about Heat, right? Next thing we're going to do, we're going to talk about Marlins, and then we're going to talk a little bit of soccer, and then we're going to talk about that win last night for the Panthers, big win. And then we're going to talk a little bit about, I know you like fighting. We're going to talk a little Mayweather, Paul, as well as some UFC, and then we're going to end it with some Dolphins talk. Is that good?
Love it. Love it.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about some Heat basketball, right? So the Miami Heat are starting their playoffs against the number 3 seed, the Milwaukee Bucks. And it'll be very interesting to kind of see how this matchup looks. If you look at the bottom here, I have the starting lineups or projected starting lineups for the Heat and the Bucks and how they kind of match out. I mean, I guess my first question to you is what do you see from the series? Because it sucks that, Boston couldn't beat the Knicks on the last day of the year for us to get the 4 or the 5 seed. And we end up having to face a more, I guess, better opponent at 3. It goes without saying. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's the big thing for me is it's going to be a really tough series against the Milwaukee Bucks. And I know that this is a team that the Heat were able to knock out in 5 last year in the bubble. And because of that, you've got some Heat fans saying, oh, we have the Bucks number. We're good against these guys. We're able to lock down Giannis Antetokounmpo defensively last year. I think the Bucks have gotten better, man. I think not only did that Drew Holiday trade that they made, it made that team significantly better. The only thing that I worried about with that trade for them was, with giving up so much draft capital and future pieces, like did that jeopardize their long-term future in exchange for the short term? And I think that's a fair discussion to have. But as far as the Milwaukee Bucks in the year 2021, this is a significantly better team than I think it was last year. And Antetokounmpo has also gotten better. So, listen, Milwaukee is not a matchup that I wanted in the first round. I would have loved to have been in that 4-5, take on the Hawks or the Knicks. I think the Heat would have won either of those series relatively easier. They probably would have beaten the Knicks in 5, maybe the Hawks in 6 or 7 at worst. And then they can go about their business. So, and then they could have had Philadelphia in the second round, which I think is actually surprisingly a maybe not terrible matchup and a winnable series for the Heat. But no, Milwaukee's going to be really, really difficult. I think what we have to count on, or at least hope for, Steve, is that the Heat can, recapture a little bit of the magical form that they had in the playoffs last year. And that can't happen if Goran Dragic isn't healthy and at his absolute best, right? Because he was a big part of that last year. Tyler Hero, who's not going to be in the starting lineup, but this guy's going to be your most important player, potentially off the bench. And he was in amazing form against Milwaukee last year. And Milwaukee's his hometown, so maybe he'll turn on a little bit of an extra, bit of adrenaline for a series like that. And Duncan Robinson has got to be shooting lights out. I mean, I know Jimmy's going to be great like he always is, and I'm sure Bam is going to be awesome, and he's going to have some difficult defensive assignments against Antetokounmpo. But no, you really need all hands on deck, because the problem with the Heat all season long, and the reason why we're talking about them being in the 6th seed and not maybe in the 3 seed or the 4 seed at worst, is you haven't really been consistently able to put, a starting 5 out there all through the year. Like Spoelstra has so many different guys injured, right? Whether it be, Jimmy Butler missing a lot of time throughout the regular season. You traded for Victor Oladipo. The guy played, in 4 games before,
and then he's out for the year.
Which is really, really frustrating to me. And, people like Tyler Hero and Goran Dragic have been in and out of the lineup a lot. So it's really, really been a challenge for Coach Spo. And I think we're at a point right now where if you can get some sort of consistency, throughout this playoff run, then maybe the Heat can shock Milwaukee. But it's going to be difficult, man. I think if the Heat are going to win this series, they're not going to do it in 5 like they did last year. We're talking about,
I think if they win, it's going to go 6 or 7.
Exactly. Bingo. I think it's got to go maybe 7 games if they're going to get this win.
You brought up a lot of great points, and I think one of them was the bench, right? I look at the starting 5 of the Bucks. You see Holiday, you see Middleton. Giannis is arguably top 3 player in the NBA, and then Brook Lopez, right? And Brook Lopez is a horse, and you need somebody like that, especially when the 5 in the NBA today is not what the 5 was 5 or 7 years ago, right? So, you look at that, and then you got to go, okay, well, where's my bench, and what is my bench going to do? And you look at a guy like Tyler Hero, and in my opinion, he could be a starter on most teams. He's averaging 15 points per game. And, Goran Dragic in the same place. So you're right. It's been tough. You haven't seen a consistent starting lineup. That bench, is it as deep as Milwaukee's? I don't know. But I think the one thing, and I know this sounds weird, but to me, the X factor is, this old man that we have on the bench named Andre Iguodala, because
I like that.
Andre knows how to win in this time of year, and he's consistently done it, and he'll be quiet the entire year. He's averaged 4.4 points a game this year, but for some reason when the playoffs come, he wakes up out of his hibernation. And I don't know, but I think Andre Iguodala could be a huge X factor, especially in a series like this against a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, who are trying to do everything they can to win now.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, Iggy, he's a former Finals MVP. right? And what makes him so important come playoff time, I mean, really two things. One of these is a constant. One of these is an X factor. I mean, the constant with Iggy, when the lights are brightest, this guy's going to show up defensively. Like, he can be a lockdown defender, late in games, closing time, expose lineup. And then the other thing about him is this guy, and he doesn't tend to do it as much in the regular season as he does in the playoffs, but you know he's going to hit some big three-pointers. Like, you know he's going to play some 3-and-D in the postseason. This guy's got the pedigree. He's won championships before. He's been a Finals MVP. You know, I also look at a guy like Trevor Ariza could end up being key because he's got so much experience and so much defense. And you know,
the question is which Trevor's going to show up.
Hopefully, the good Trevor.
Because we've all seen the bad ones show up in playoffs before too. Houston,
we sure have, man.
You know,
we sure have. Yeah, no. So, but I think that's a good point about Iguodala, and that's the reason why, you know, the Heat added him, you know, a little over a year ago when they threw him into the mix. It's really more to do with his playoff experience than anything else.
All right, let's move on a little bit from Heat talk. Just so you guys know, you can find Alex every day on OnSide Radio. You guys see right there on the left-hand side, the man of the match with Alex Donno from 3 to 6 p.m. on OnSide Radio. And if you guys can't catch his show live, you know what you guys can do? You can download the show, right?
Hell yeah.
So you guys can go download the show, listen to Alex every day. I listen to him every day. I turn it on YouTube because I'm always sitting at the computer. I got to get ready for a morning show, and I got to get ready for an afternoon show. So I'm always on the computer getting ready for either of the shows. And speaking of which, that afternoon show we debuted yesterday on OnSide Radio.
Dude, great job, man.
I appreciate it, man. I was excited, man. It was really, really good. Miami sports music for the fans is a 1-hour show from 6 to 7, Monday through Friday, only on OnSide Radio. Yesterday, we had Scott Howell on, who's the president of the Atlanta Dolphin Club. And today, I believe we are going to have there's Scott right there. My brain eludes me today. Who are we having on today? Oh, we're having on, no, I'll get to that in a second. See,
Somebody
I'm doing 15 things at once. It'll be awesome. Exact. Big E, NFL Fan of the Year.
Nice.
We're having Big E on. Big E, I didn't forget about you, man. I'm doing 15 things at once. I'm running a board. I'm having a show. I didn't forget about you, Big E. Yeah, we have Big E coming on, so I'm pretty excited about him coming on. All right, let's go next. Marlins right now, look, they're not getting a lot of love in South Florida, and that's okay. There's a lot of other teams that are deserving of getting that love, but they're in a rebuild process, right? And there's a lot of young players. My question to you is Miami, are the Marlins doing it right? Are they making the right, are they keeping guys in Jacksonville too long, or should they let some of these young guys come up and pitch in the majors and get their, hurts and hangups out the way now? I mean, I don't know. I want to see the Marlins do well, but it's like consistently every year. I mean, are they doing the right thing? Are they doing this rebuild process the right way?
So far, I feel like these guys are doing it the right way. And for me to say that, it's not easy because I had built up a grudge against the Marlins after so many years of previous ownership just not giving a rat's behind about the fan base. Like previous ownership, it was constant slap in the faces to the fans. Anytime they found a decent player, they were going to trade him the first chance they got. Then they signed a big payroll when they opened up the new ballpark. And then like the second they faced any adversity, they had a fire sale. It's like time and time again, the previous ownership let me down. But part of that with, Jeffrey Loria and David Sampson, that previous regime was, even though, they made a lot of trades, so you were thinking, oh, they must be stocking up the farm system because of all these trades they're making. But no, the farm system was not in good shape during the previous ownership. So one of the first things that this current group has been doing is they've really been restocking their minor league cabinets. And everyone that I talk to, I'm not going to claim I'm an expert on minor league baseball, but everyone I talk to is always raving about the work that they're doing. And, for the last few months, they've been under a new general manager in Kim Ang, who, made history becoming the first female GM. But I mean, in reality, she probably deserved this opportunity a long time ago. And you look at some of the jobs that she's held, throughout the years. And it seems
this is her first full year, right?
Yeah, this is her first full year.
We gotta have patience. We gotta have patience.
Absolutely. And listen, they're getting some mixed results on the field. They're taking their lumps. I think the pitching staff is awesome. They got to find more consistent hitting.
They had Adam Cody Poteet, young guy, made his major league debut pitching, did great. Then they optioned him down back to Jacksonville, and I know why. I get it. I understand baseball. Yep. But now they got this other young kid who I hope they end up starting. I haven't seen the rotation for the next few days, but my hope is that he ends up starting here soon, and that's what they end up seeing is some of these young guys come out, and all of a sudden maybe we have one or two aces on that pitching staff, and now all of a sudden some of these other guys like Jesus Aguilar, I love him. And I think you can build a team around somebody like that. I'm not saying he's going to be your star player, but he can be your heart and soul, right?
Yeah,
he's going to be that.
There's a lot of guys that I love. And listen, I think that they've kind of had to build it back up from scratch, and I think they're doing a nice job. And they're also pushing some of the right buttons away from the actual game itself. That stadium opened up 9 years ago. They finally signed a naming rights deal this year, which is a nice extra source of revenue. That it's now
people don't realize how big that is. I live in Baltimore,
huge. Yeah,
and Camden Yards refuses to do it, and there's a side of me that's glad of it.
Yeah,
but then I look at the play on the field, and I'm like, man, an extra $60 million a year, that would sure help get a player or two.
Yeah, it's like a cheat code. And listen, I don't know if like 20 years ago people were selling naming rights to stadiums. It seems like a relatively new thing. Like it started this millennium, I should say, the whole naming rights thing. But it's just like a free source of revenue. Like, hey, that there's going to be tens of thousands of people coming to every game, and it's going to be on TV. So this is like a great way to get your brand out there. So the naming rights thing was big. I'm sure you saw those limited edition jerseys that they put out.
Oh my God, they are Cuban.
Those are gorgeous.
They hands down might be the best baseball jerseys out there.
Yeah. With their I can't remember what the Marlins are calling it, but it's like styled after
their city. They're called
city.
So Major League Baseball has a thing called city jerseys, right? And so every city. Every couple, they only release a few every year, right? And so this year was Miami's year. And I mean, if you guys need to go to Twitter right now, search up Marlins baseball jerseys or Marlins Cuban jerseys. That red and blue is just gorgeous. Gorgeous. One of the best jerseys I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're modeled after, and I had to educate myself yesterday because I didn't know much about what they were modeled after. But it's the Havana Sugar Kings, which is a former minor league team that it started in Havana, Cuba in the 1940s, and then after the Castro regime, they were able to because everything was nationalized down there because they're actually owned by an American company. And then after Castro came in, they actually moved to the United States. But it obviously wasn't the same when they moved to the United States because they really had something special down in Havana during that era. But a lot of
great baseball down there.
A lot of great baseball, and of course, a lot of the Cuban Americans up here really fondly remember the Havana Sugar Kings from back in the day. So that's what the jerseys are modeled after. So they're beautiful. And like I said, I start to get pumped up. I mean, I'm not really going to be in full-on baseball mode until after the
break.
Right. Well, not even. That's true. That's very true. but even before that, once the NBA finals are in the books and the Stanley Cup finals are in the books, I devote a lot more time to baseball. But something I actually like about this season is you get the occasional, you get more day games than you usually get because of the way that the schedule is condensed. And I kind of like that because if I can get some like mid-afternoon day baseball and then I can get some hockey playoffs and NBA playoffs at night, that's a perfect.
You have a whole evening just full of Miami sports.
I love that. Yeah. And I just hope, and one thing about Miami sports that kind of pissed me off this season was we had way too many nights where the Panthers and Heat would play on the same night. Same time, and then neither of them play the next night. It's like we need to stagger those out a little bit better, bros.
Well, they're on the same network too, right? And so it's interesting. I totally agree with you on that. You know, I live up here in Maryland, and so the Capitals and the Wizards, they play in the same building, so that's the biggest thing with them. So they're always playing on different nights. You never run into that issue.
That's nice, then. That works out great.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I want to get to the next thing, but before I do, there's two things I want to talk to you guys about. Number one, my man, when we came down there a couple weeks ago, we gave you a DWA hat. I know you liked it, right?
Yes,
that thing,
I love it.
I wish sick.
I'm actually at my parents' house now. The DWA hat is back in my house, but I've worn it proud all around town these last couple of weeks. And the shorts. And dude, I got to tell you, when I wear those shorts, I get compliments on the street. But I think my wife wants to burn them. Like my wife hates them. She hates them because
that's not good product placement there, Alex. Come on.
No, but the thing is though, when I'm walking around town, people see the shorts. They're like, "Dude, where did you get those? Those are incredible." Yep. So I don't know why my wife doesn't like them, but everyone else loves them.
That's all right. Everyone else does, right?
Yes.
You guys can get the latest DWA gear just like my man Alex, right? Those DWA shorts exclusively on MiamiSportsMusic.com. We have a lot of amazing stuff for you, the fan, to rock you around. Along with DWA, we have CWA for those Hurricane fans. Remember, we are home of the number one song in college football, Turnover Chain. And we have the hats, the shirts, shorts, jerseys, cups, bumper stickers, everything, so much more. So go to MiamiSportsMusic.com today and click on the clothing tab. And remember to like us and follow us on social media. And if you're watching right now, this is what I need you to do. I need you to stop what you're doing. I need you to hit that like button. Last time I checked, we had 21 likes. I want to get to 30 likes in the next 10 minutes. So I need you guys to hit that like button because you know how YouTube algorithms are. So I need you guys to hit that like button, right? And then also, if you guys aren't already, go ahead and hit subscribe to the channel. And then also, we got my man, we got a few different people in the room, like Vic. Vic this morning, Vic says, where did you move to, Finsanity? Vic signed up at 7:30 this morning to become a new YouTube member of our show.
Love that.
I love it, man. And then we got, people like Chef Zhu, who's been here since day one, being a member, and A-Rod, and we got all these people, man, that we're just getting to know as our network is growing and our show is coming in popularity. We're getting a lot of fans coming back and back and back, and that's what I like to see. So I am pretty excited to see these guys, and once you become a member, you become part of the family. And so I want to see more people become part of that.
It's a beautiful thing. I love that. Right. And you guys do such a great job connecting with the fans all over the world. It's awesome.
Miami Sports Music, man, it started with Solo. We had Solo on a little bit ago. He was in the gym working out.
Nice.
And, he's listening to us right now while he's working out.
Fantastic.
All right. Next, let's talk some inter-CF, man. Let's talk some Miami soccer. So, all right, I'm not as educated on this as you are. So the first things first. Before we even get into Miami, I want to just kind of briefly talk about soccer in the U.S. because it is slowly becoming one of the most popular sports, and it's due, in my opinion, to two reasons. Number one, other major sporting leagues not doing good enough marketing, Major League Baseball, as well as all these kids play soccer when they're young.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot easier for them to turn on a TV and see somebody that does what they do every weekend. And so I think that those are two main reasons why soccer is quickly, I said slowly, it's quickly becoming one of the fastest rising sports in America. Would you agree with that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, and the things that you mentioned, they go hand in hand because like I can remember when I was a kid growing up, through the 1990s. Like I played soccer from second grade through high school, but one of the things I remember was like back then, the TV access was not that great. Like, you'd have the World Cup every 4 years that people would go crazy for. And every now and then you would get like an international game on television, and growing up down here in Miami, every now and then you would get some games at the Orange Bowl. Like there would be some big, like international, friendly games that would come to the OB. Kids would get excited. But overall, it's like, there wasn't a great place to watch soccer on TV. I don't remember like what the television situation was for like the Premier League at that time. It was difficult to watch it. I grew up in a household with an Italian father who was, crazy for the Italian Serie A. And it's like, you had to jump through all these hoops to watch it. He had to get like, a crazy like satellite to get an Italian channel and watch. So it was ridiculous.
Why is there a huge satellite that's supposed to be in outer space in our backyard?
Exactly. That was what we had growing up, just so he could get this one Italian channel to watch like a couple of games a week. It was nuts. And so one of the things I remember when I was a kid, like playing soccer all throughout my childhood, like I would play soccer with all these kids who like we loved playing it, but most of them didn't actually watch it, right? Like they would play soccer all day, and then they would only be watching, the NFL and baseball and the NBA and all that stuff. But nowadays, since the product has gotten so much more accessible on TV, the kids are playing it as they've been for the last couple of decades, but then they're also going home and watching it. And I noticed like everybody has adopted, a European team, right? I know so many people, and, I'm always trying to be an ambassador for the Serie A, for the Italian teams. But, I think I'm kind of failing on that front a little bit because I don't have too many personal friends who have adopted Italian teams.
I just want to stop you there because you brought up a great point. UEFA, all these teams like Manchester City, Manchester, like the Champions League, the European leagues, they're doing a better job at marketing in the U.S. than Major League Baseball.
They are 100%. Yeah.
And that's sad to me.
And it's especially the English teams. Like that league has mastered it. They have like their coverage in the United States, their television coverage, which they cater to the American audience, because some of the other leagues, the U.S. TV coverage is basically like piped in foreign coverage. But like the Premier League actually has like an American, whole American crew, like pregame and everything. And they do a really good, and they have like
Alex Morgan, right?
Yeah. And like, obviously during the pandemic, they haven't done this as much, but I remember before the pandemic, they would have like gigantic watch parties that they would put on national TV, like out on the street in New York City and Miami and various places. So they really do a good job connecting with the fans. And so, yeah, I think that's a huge part of growing the game is that, like you said, some of these foreign teams do a better job marketing, in this country than Major League Baseball does, which is ridiculous. And so they've really found a way to connect the dots because, again, decades ago, even when kids were playing soccer, they weren't watching soccer. And I think now these teams have realized, hold on, in the United States, if you look at youth sports, that's been like the fastest growing.
All these kids
sport.
Are playing. Yeah. They're playing soccer, man.
All these kids are playing it. And listen, when I was a kid, a lot of kids were playing it just because their parents said, hey, this is a good way to get them some exercise. But like,
no, it was a way for them to get the hell out of the house so that they didn't have to be home.
I think that was why my parents had me play, was to get me out of the house for a couple of hours per day. But now it's gotten to a point where, they found a way to connect all the kids playing soccer with now having them all watch soccer. And it's become really exciting.
Definitely. And I want to get to the Miami soccer in a second, but I feel like I really want to talk to you about this topic real quick. We look at Major League Baseball, right? And we look at guys like Trevor Bauer. And by the way, I'm a huge Trevor Bauer fan because I like the controversy that he stirs up. I think Major League Baseball, you look at, let's go through most of the sporting leagues, right? Mm-hmm. NHL does a pretty good job of catering to Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin. And they do a good job of putting them out in front. The NBA, LeBron, Giannis, NBA does the best job out of all of them of marketing. Worldwide, here in the US, all of it. And the NFL too. The NFL does an amazing job because it's the NFL. They own a day of the week, right? So I don't understand why Major League Baseball can't get it through their head that they are going to lose a generation. They have already lost a generation because they don't cater on social media. They don't let people like us that have platforms online share their content easily.
Mm.
And NBA doesn't care. NBA wants to see. Do you know how easy it is for me to make a player's highlight on the NBA and then put it up on YouTube and it not get flagged? Because they want people sharing their content. They want that out there. And you look at Major League Baseball and you can't do anything without their written consent. And God forbid it puts them in a negative light in any way, shape, or form. You're just not going to win. And so when you see somebody like Trevor Bauer, who's bucking the system, who I love, by the way, I think honestly, and here's my opinion, he's set up for failure because Major League Baseball is just never going to let him succeed. And I don't understand why they have not done anything or made that change yet. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I wish I had an answer. I don't. It's like they're failing in the most obvious areas because what every other league is embracing is the fact that and listen, I'm starting to feel old, like in my late 30s. I no longer feel connected with what the young generation is doing the way that I used to, because now, like, dude, it's all about Instagram. It's all about TikTok. I have phased out a little bit of Facebook because Facebook started to drive me insane. There's still some good stuff on there, but I'm like tired of seeing what all my relatives feel about politics every single day. It gets a little bit exhausting after a certain point, but it's like, all of these platforms that, the 16, 17-year-olds, 15-year-olds are embracing, Major League Baseball are completely ignoring. And it's like, that's really the only way to connect to the next generation of fan. Like Twitch is huge. Right, Twitch. Yeah, you have to embrace Twitch. You have to embrace esports. Like, you have to do all of these things, because if you keep catering to people like me in their 30s and people in their 40s and 50s, like at a certain point, you're literally going to lose your audience, and you're going to lose like the biggest money spending demographic. Because I know that the biggest money spending demographic is like 25 to 54, but the kids who are 15, 16 now are going to be that in 10 years. And what are you doing to cater to them?
You're not. And you hit the nail on the head, man. We could talk about that all day. So, all right, let me go to Miami soccer. So you have this team that, I'm just going to say David Beckham brought, even though I know there were a lot of other people more qualified.
It doesn't happen without him. He was the one who started it. So,
well, you have David Beckham who decided to bring an MLS team to Miami, which was great to begin with. And then their marketing has been absolutely great, right? Their color schemes, that pink and black, I love it. And then going to the stadium a couple of weeks ago to see you at the stadium there to do the interview with Solo D and you. Oh my gosh, like that black and pink stadium like jumps out at you. And when you guys told me that's just a temporary home, I was like, what? So, tell me about this team and behind the scenes a little bit and being in a first year inaugural season for a team like this.
Yeah, they've just started the second year. The first season was a little bit rocky, and
I don't count last year.
It's true, but there's certainly a big pivot from last year. Last year was difficult for everybody, with all the stoppages in play and having no fans in the stands for most of the season. They've already they changed coaches from last year. They've got Phil Neville now, and Phil Neville was I liked the move then, and I like it now, and I'll explain why. But that move was criticized at the time he was hired, and it was for ridiculous reasons, because people were like, "Oh, he's a former David Beckham teammate, and he's a friend of Beckham. So wait, did he only get the job because he's friends with Beckham?
Nepotism, huh?
Yeah, nepotism. Did he really earn it? And he's not coached. He's not been a head coach for a club team before. He was coaching a national team previously.
Hey, if Ted Lasso can do it, he can do it.
That's what a great show. But no, I mean, I liked the Phil Neville move from the start, because he did a great job, prior. He'd been an assistant coach at a very high level, and as a head coach, a manager, he did a great job with the English women's national team. I thought he really did good stuff with them, and his tactical acumen is very clear. And what's really impressed me most about Phil Neville so far this season is he's doing such a better job connecting with his players than the previous coach did. The previous coach, he only spoke one language, and it was Spanish. And I think he had trouble connecting with the non-Spanish speakers. Phil Neville is fluent in like every language under the sun. Like he is English, so of course he speaks English very well, probably better than either of us. Because he's from he's from the he speaks the King's English, the Queen's English. And he's also fluent in Spanish. And so he's really been able to connect with the entire locker room. And I thought that, this past weekend, Inter Miami got a really important win on Sunday against FC Cincinnati. And I thought that Neville really pressed a couple of the right buttons, because one of the team's higher paid players, Rodolfo Pizarro, has not been performing well. And so he made the decision to put Pizarro on the bench, which I thought was the right move. And Federico Higuain, the brother of Gonzalo Higuain, started in the game. He played really well. He started Breck Shea on the left wing, which was not.
Who had a goal? Breck had a goal.
He had a goal, and he hadn't gotten a start this year, so that was a little bit of a change in tactics. And so everything worked out really nicely. And like you mentioned, some of the things off the field, the gear is selling like hotcakes, because everyone loves the pink and black color scheme. Everyone loves the jerseys and the hats and the t-shirts, and the stadium looks great. So merchandising wise, they're hitting it out of the park. And
I need some, by the way. If you know a hookup, I'm just saying, I'll tell you my size behind closed doors. I need some gear, bro. That is some like hat, like everything. As you can see, I love hats.
Yeah.
And there's some sick gear that you guys have there.
I will send the word up the food chain and see what happens there.
There'll be like Stephen who? Miami Sports who?
No, they know you. Miami Sports Music, baby. And so I think we're starting to see signs that the product on the field is starting to get there as well. And they're catching some people off the radar, because there was a lot of negativity from other parts of the country. I've really noticed, and this seems to be a theme for South Florida sports, because as a lifelong Miami Hurricanes fan, I always get this sort of us against the world, us against the establishment thing. And I'm seeing some of that with the soccer team here as well, because I've noticed the MLS establishment, don't really like Inter Miami. And I think it's because they're flashy, and David Beckham is a part owner and founder of the club, and because they've spent some money on recognizable players from around the world. And so I don't know if it's jealousy, if it's resentment, or what it is. Probably so, but there is a lot of resentment against that club.
They're sitting at 7th right now in the standings, right? They're right in that playoff hunt.
Yeah, they're right in there, and that's even like they're technically in 7th because of like goal differential, but they're tied for 2nd. So it's like they're in like a 5-way tie for 2nd place. So it's crazy. It's crazy though. So they're right in the hunt. I mean, it's too early to jump to any big conclusions, but I think they're going to be right in there. And the top 6 teams in the conference make the playoffs. I think they're going to be the playoffs, but a lot of like the MLS writers said, oh no, they're going to finish like 12th or 13th in the conference. Like, get out of here. I understand you have this jealousy or this resentment, but come on, dude. Like this team's going to be fine. They're going to be good.
The last thing I want to bring up for Miami Inter CF soccer, is the tough question, right? So look, a lot of people don't want me talking about soccer on here. It's tough to talk about, right? And it's tough for people to kind of get on board. So my question to you is, how, without getting technical, do I draw more people in to want to talk about or get more interested in their hometown team of Miami CF?
Well, one thing is, tell them to go to a game, because it's a different experience. Because if you go to a game, you're going to end up like standing up, going crazy the entire time, especially if you can sit like in the supporter sections where they're jumping around, just going crazy. Because like the passion from a soccer crowd is completely different. And I love NFL football and college football, all that good stuff. But it's like, the way the crowds go for our conventional American sports, it's very Americanized. Whereas you go to a soccer game, and by the time you're done watching, the game is 90 minutes, but it ends up being 2 hours when you throw in halftime and the stoppage time and all that. Within those 2 hours, you're probably going to lose your voice. You're probably going to have an amazing time. You're going to be like high-fiving or fist bumping perfect strangers. You got to get out to a game. I think once you see it live, it's infectious, like the passion. In fact, one of my really good friends, Steve, who is actually a guy that I do a soccer podcast with, my friend Jerry. He is one of the most hardcore soccer fans you'll ever meet, but he's only been into soccer for like 4 years. And here's what happened to him. He caught the bug, okay? About 4 years ago, he and his lovely wife, they were on their honeymoon, and they were over in Europe. They were over in the UK, and neither of them were soccer fans whatsoever. This is in like 2016, 2017. And they happened to be in London. They decided to go to a Chelsea game just because they're like, oh, you know, this would be really interesting to kind of soak up the local culture. So they go to a Chelsea game, and like he was so freaking blown away by the way, you know, the atmosphere, the chanting, the singing, the crowds, and the passion that, you know, having not been a soccer fan whatsoever, he goes to one game and he catches the bug and he becomes a hardcore fan. And he's not even like a Chelsea fan anymore. It's the game he went to, but he's a big, because he traced his Italian roots. He's a big Lazio fan. He does support Chelsea, but it's like, and I say the same thing about hockey, by the way. Going to a hockey game is big as well. But no, if you want to catch the soccer bug, I would recommend going to a game. And in the stadium, it's going to be at full capacity actually later this month. They've been limited, obviously, for the pandemic, but starting May 29th is when they're going to be able to open it up to a full stadium, which is about 18,000 is what the stadium at Fort Lauderdale holds, Drive Pink Stadium. So I would highly recommend anybody who's in South Florida, or if you're not in South Florida, if you live in another, you know, MLS market, go to a game, and I think you'll catch the bug.
All right. Look, I got about 10 minutes left because my wife's telling me I need to go pick up my daughter.
I know how that goes.
All right. So real quick, there's two more things I want to briefly talk to you about, and then we'll get out of here, right? And you know what? I'm going to have you on maybe sometime later this week for us to oh, wait. My wife just texted me and said that she's going to go get her because I wanted to talk to you about these two things. Give me 1 second while I do this. Why don't you promote your show, by the way, while I'm doing this real quick, man?
Yeah, absolutely. And now Steve and Miami Sports Music, they're part of the OnSide Radio family as well. So we're keeping it in the family here. But every single day, and I'd highly recommend and ask that South Florida sports fans, if you tune into what we're doing on onsideradio.com, you know, we live audio streams, podcasted replays, and also live video streams. You know, if you go on to YouTube every day, you search for OnSide Radio. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. And from the morning show, which is Toasted Sports with Toast, South Florida staple, he starts the day at 8 a.m. And then Kai Chen Chisholm goes from 10 to noon. The legendary Big O goes from noon to 3. I go from 3 to 6 p.m. every day. And then, of course, we got Steve and Miami Sports Music for the fans, 6 to 7 o'clock every single night. So make sure you're taking advantage of it. OnSideRadio.com. You can listen to live audio, or if you're able to watch video on YouTube, as you guys do here. The thing I love about YouTube is you can interact, right? People can chat. We can get a whole conversation going. It's really a great community. Take advantage of multiple different ways to interact. So we're on YouTube every day. So yeah, my show airs 3 to 6 p.m. every day, onsideradio.com.
Definitely, you guys, make sure you guys go check that out. And if you're not able to, you know, you can download the show, as you can see on the left-hand side here of the screen. Go to Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast, you can go download it. All right, I can stay on a little bit longer. My wife said she's going to go pick her up, which is good. Okay, so two more things I want to talk about. Panthers, man. So yesterday, I was hearing some of your show, and you can correct me if I heard you incorrectly, but I don't think I did. You pretty much said that if the Panthers don't win last night, they're not gonna win the series.
No, tonight, yeah, they got to win tonight. Tonight, game 2. If they don't win tonight, I think their goose is cooked.
Why am I thinking that they played last night for some reason? Dude, my days are all mixed up.
No, it's all good. No, they didn't. No, last night it was the Avalanche, Blues, Hurricanes, Predators, Bruins, Capitals. So we got the big one, big game 2 tonight.
Here we go. Game 2.
Yeah.
Yep. See, look at me. I'm not being the good announcer that I'm supposed to be being.
You're good, bro. You're good. No,
all right.
Tonight, what I was saying was, if they, you know, they had a really, really competitive game one that they ultimately lost in heartbreaking fashion. Oh, what's up, Solo? Nice to see Solo tuning in.
Solo also donated $9.99 to his own show, to his own network. I love that, man. Look, guys, if Solo can donate any money, you guys can donate to the cause here. Okay, look, real quick, you guys got to go do that. I'm gonna put up the thing. If you guys want to comment or get your comment on, donate to the channel and get your comment seen and put on the show. Your donation helps our channel grow. The live super chat. I can't believe awesome. Solo did that.
What a man. What a dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, who do you think is going to start between the pipes tonight?
You know, coming into it, my suspicion was, and I've been told I'm wrong, so I'm going to be fully transparent. My suspicion was I thought they would make the change for this one to Chris Drieger because Bobrovsky, like he wasn't convincing in the first game, right? Like you let in 5 goals. None of them were like really terrible. Like you can't look at it and say, oh, Bob is really to blame for that goal. So it wasn't egregious, but he also wasn't really special in that first game. So, I mean, my thought was I thought Coach Quenneville would change it up and give Chris Drieger a shot, who's been really good this season. But I had a conversation late yesterday afternoon with one of my hockey experts, George Richards from FloridaHockeyNow.com, and he didn't completely dismiss my idea, but he did say he thinks they're going to ride with Bob for another one. So. If that ends up being the case tonight, if Sergei Bobrovsky starts again, you know, obviously we know what this dude is capable of. You know, before he got to Florida, was one of the best goaltenders in the NHL. Unfortunately, hasn't really hit that form in these 2 years as a Florida Panther, but he did have the Tampa Bay Lightning's number a couple of years ago because when he was a Columbus Blue Jacket, Columbus swept Tampa in the first round. And Bob was a huge part of that. So yeah, I mean, I guess I am apparently wrong because I thought that Coach Quenneville would make the switch.
It won't be the first time, Alex.
It wouldn't be the first time, and it won't be just talk to my wife. It wouldn't be the first time, and it won't be the last. But yeah, I think it's based on what my consigliere have told me. I think it's going to be Bob again tonight.
I mean, look, I look at this team right now, and I look what they've done. And shout out to Cameron 954. Cameron just donated $9.99 to the channel. So big shout out to Cameron, and obviously the Honorable Solo D just cracks me up. And such a good guy. All right, I look at this. All right, so you know, you look at this and you say, hey, look, can the Panthers make a run at this thing? Look, it's kind of weird this year, right? Like we didn't even know when the playoffs were going to start when the season ended. And, you know, the NHL's kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't even think Canada is still playing in Canada yet. And so it's just kind of weird. Like, what does Florida need to do? Let's say they get out of this Tampa series and they advance to the next round. What's going to be the X factor of them making it to the Stanley Cup Finals? Well,
first thing, if they can get out of this first round, we can feel pretty confident that this team has a run in them because Tampa's awesome. I mean, Tampa, they're the defending Stanley Cup champions from last year. Exactly. And so, yeah, if Florida can get by that team, then anything is possible. Now, in the second round, they're likely to go up against Carolina. And Carolina, you know, they really had the Panthers' number in the regular season. Like the Panthers did really well against Tampa in the regular season, not well against Carolina. But they were a bunch of 1-goal losses. So it's not like, you know, Carolina was blowing the Panthers out. The Panthers just didn't get the results. But, I mean, listen, this Panthers team, they've been able to get consistent goal scoring from all over the lineup, which is huge. Like Alexander Barkov has been tremendous, as you would expect, but Huberdeau's been great. Wenberg has had like hat tricks every now and again. You know, they've gotten a ton of goals and contributions from guys like, you know, Anthony Duclair and Frank Vetrano. And, you know, defensively, they've been pretty solid. So I think this team has it. So it's just going to be if you can get through I think it's going to be a really tough series against Tampa Bay, and it's probably going to go 6 or 7 games. If the Panthers can get through that, they're battle tested, and I think they can make a deep run.
And I tell people all the time, as a sports fan, if you want to see some great sports, playoff hockey is like the best thing to watch, hands down. And so I want to see them win this series, right? I want to see a couple of fights. Not like
you're going to see those for sure.
Did you see the Rangers and Capital stuff a couple of weeks ago?
No, I didn't see. I heard about it though.
Oh my God. All right. If you get time today, you need to go to YouTube and check that whole thing out. So Tom Wilson of the Washington Capitals, obviously dirty player, right? An enforcer, a goon, whatever you want to call him, does a dirty shot in the game before, and the NHL doesn't suspend him. And that was the NHL's fault, right? Like the NHL had an opportunity to like shut this thing, nip it in the butt, take care of it. They didn't do it. So the Rangers took possession, took matters into their own hands. And from the drop of the puck, the front three linemen each dropped their gloves as soon as the game started and went at it. And that was not the last fight of the night. There were still like 4 or 5 other fights in the next 5 minutes. Jeez. So the whole there was more people in the penalty box than there was on the bench.
Oh my God, that's so great. I heard about that, and I'm glad you reminded me because I need to check that out.
It was awesome. All right. Now, last but not least, man, we got to talk some Dolphins. We got to talk some Dolphins because that's what the masses are here for. So, again, if you guys want to get your question asked or answered by Alex or myself, donate to the channel and get your comment seen. As you can see, Solo D's done it. Cameron's done it. Eric's done it today. Go ahead and put your donation in. It helps our channel grow. We want to grow. We want to get bigger. We want to do more things. We want to have guys like Alex Donno on our channel more. And so the only way to do that is to have this channel keep growing so that we can stay on, keep doing this morning show, and we can bring it every morning from 8:30 to 9:30. And as you guys can see, we're already kind of in a little bit of an overtime today, but that's okay. That's the best part about being on YouTube. I don't have to worry about a clock or a commercial break or anything like that. I can do what I want. All right, let's see here. All right, Dolphins, man. Let's talk about Dolphins. 70 players showed up voluntarily yesterday. That's insane to me. I do too. I look at this team right now. Look, you and I have had some conversations briefly about the Dolphins. I've been a Dolphins fan since I was a kid. I love them. I have the Miami Miracle right here, the game that I was at, which to this day will still be one of my favorite memories ever.
I was there as well. I wish we had connected that day. I was working that game. It was unbelievable.
It was so unreal. I mean, to this day, it's still one of my greatest sports memories. But, you look at this team right now, and I think Coach Flo and Greer have this team headed in the right direction. And then when you see 70 players show up to voluntary mini camp or rookie camp, right? I mean, what does that say about your coach, and what does that say about the players? Because the NFLPA was actively verbal and saying, do not show up, do not go. And the Miami Dolphins were like, man, forget this. We're going. And to me, that says, Super Bowl. That's what they want to do. And you only do that for something that you believe in my opinion. And so I think this team believes that they can do it. And I think this team believes in this guy named Tua. And I'm just very interested to hear your thoughts on this team, the 70 players showing up to minicamp, and just kind of the direction the Dolphins are headed in.
Yeah, the 70-plus players, it's great. It shows you that, these guys care about Brian Flores. They want to play for him. They want to show their full support to him. Because, over the last several weeks, like you said, the NFLPA was very vocal telling their players that, hey, like, we don't want you guys to show up to these voluntary camps because, and listen, like, and I'm not anti-union. I'm overall I'm pro-union, but that doesn't, like, I call a spade. And in this case, the NFLPA was trying to use their players as pawns to try they were trying to renegotiate the CBA. Like they didn't like the CBA that they agreed to and ratified because, oh no, we gave the owners the option to add an extra game and they did it. And now we're upset. And they, they tried to, they have tried to use the, the pandemic as kind of an excuse to say, hey, it's not safe to go to facilities because of COVID. But here's the problem, man. these players have to work out. Like this is not, 1965 where these guys don't, stay in shape in the off season and they sell cars in the off season. Like, no. Football is a 365-day a year.
Yep.
Full-time job. These players have to be working out. They have to be doing reps. If you're quarterbacks and receivers, you have to be catching and throwing passes. You've got to be working on your timing all year round. And so if the NFLPA is telling players not to work out at team facilities, guess what? They're working out somewhere else, right? And they're not. It's not like they're working out by themselves on like a Peloton in the basement. No, they're working with other players, or they're working out. At,
That's what Tua's been doing for the last few weeks in Florida, man. He's been finding high school football fields and throwing.
Yeah.
And for me, that just says a lot about him. And I think that's a good segue into Tua. So, I mean, all right, before we get into it, we got to talk about it. I mean, Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers, and we'll kind of talk both individually. So first thing is, obviously yesterday there was more talk. For some reason, it came back alive again about Deshaun Watson to Miami. It really picked up steam yesterday. And it looks like, from what we hear, and again, this is all hearsay, this is all rumors, who really knows, that Deshaun Watson's going to end up settling out of court with everything that's been going on with him. And if that happens, Texans are going to do everything they can to move him. So 2 things to that. Number one, if that is the case, or whatever the case is, and that happens, I'm strictly coming at this from a football side, people, right? You don't have to give up much for him. And so if that's the case, or as much as you would before everything went down, they wanted 4 first-round draft picks. There's no way they're getting that now. So, I mean, what do you think about Deshaun Watson, that whole situation? And then, what are the odds that he plays this year, and who is he playing for?
Yeah, I think I think it would have to be a really discounted price for Chris Grier to really do something. And if the price got really low, listen, do what you got to do, because we know he's an incredible player. I really wouldn't be a fan of it. And even if we're talking strictly football, I don't know, man. I think that there's a lot of baggage here with this situation. And I've talked a lot about this on my show, that even if it's proven that he's not like actually a sexual predator, the guy's still a creep to begin with. And there's a lot of baggage that comes with it. So to me, it would have to be a really, really low price, because they've gotten this far now. And I know that some people are going to still have doubts about Tua, and I get it. He didn't light it up last year. I can give you 1,000 reasons why he didn't light it up last year, and I think he's going to be really good. But I know people have their doubts, but the project to this point that Chris Grier has been painstakingly working on has been building the best possible team around Tua. And when you've gone this far to make improvements to the offensive line, which is key, to make big time improvements at wide receiver, to add another pass catching tight end in the draft. I don't know if they've really done enough yet at running back, but maybe with all the weapons, no, definitely not. But maybe now when you can stretch the field with Will Fuller and with Jalen Waddle, automatically the running game may get better, because teams can't stack the box against the Dolphins anymore. So, I like what they're doing now with Tua, where they're putting him in every possible position to succeed. Now, as far as Deshaun Watson goes, yeah, my suspicion is that I think they're going to get these things settled within the next month or two. And if that happens, if they can settle out of court, he's going to play at some point in 2021, I think. It'll probably end up being an 8-game suspension. And then the big question becomes, like, does he play a little bit for Houston just so they can kind of maybe bump the trade value a little bit? Or are they able to trade him like before his suspension expires?
They don't want him in the building. That's my opinion of it.
Yeah, probably not. So it's a tough one. So maybe he ends up getting traded somewhere. I know the teams that have sounded really interested, Philadelphia and Carolina, sound like teams that don't have too many qualms about his baggage, and that they're just kind of waiting for him to settle, and they're going to go after him. So to answer one of your original questions, I do think at some point in the 2021 season, we're going to see him play, because if he's able to settle out of court, I think he'll be suspended for part of the season, maybe about half the season, but not a full season.
Tua will do so well after this year. Nobody will be asking for a quarterback trade.
Yeah.
Vic, a member of our channel, I'd like Vic, you need to tell people where they can sign up to be a member like you. I 100% agree. I think coaching regime won't go for someone with his character, my opinion. I think a lot of people probably have, your sentiment as well as Vic's that, it's a character thing. And if you look at some of the people that have left the building that could still play, it was a character thing. It wasn't a play thing or on the field thing. So, and I'm not saying all those situations were like that. Some of them were salary cap reasons, but I will say that I agree with that. Now, with that being said, and I want to get into like Tua talk, but I think it brings up a good point about Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers wins the NFL MVP last year. And look, we've been in this somewhat situation before where we think we have the future playing right now, somebody who's got it, who can, get us to the promised land. And we kind of pass up on opportunities to go out and get maybe a veteran quarterback that has proven himself that could probably get us there with the right people around him. And so, in my opinion, seeing what Tom Brady has done at 45 years old, I think if you have an opportunity to get Aaron Rodgers, I want everybody to know I am a Tua fan. I support Tua. I love Tua. I think Tua is going to be big. I just want to be devil's advocate here and say that nothing is guaranteed. And for me, I think I would rather have an NFL MVP rather than a second-year quarterback who is still, let's be honest, like you said, call a spade a spade. He's not proven yet. So that's kind of what I'm getting at with the Aaron Rodgers thing. I think if Rodgers, honestly, if Green Bay was already going to trade him, I think they probably would have done it before the draft. But I still think that that's a bad marriage right now, and anything can happen at any point. So, I think if you had an opportunity to get Aaron Rodgers, you have to consider it. You have to.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks I've ever laid eyes on in my entire life. And I know that a lot of the hesitation from Dolphins fans would be, okay, this guy's 37 years old, so it's a limited window. I get that. And, I think he can play to or past 40. I think there's still like a 4-year window with Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. He's even on that TB12 diet now. He's trying to extend his career the way that Tom Brady did. He's too good not to consider. Like you at least have to see what the asking price would be, if there even is an asking price. Because like you said, if Green Bay was going to trade him, it was pretty stupid not to trade him before the draft, right? Because you know exactly.
You had more leverage then.
More leverage, and also like the draft picks you get are going to be higher, because anywhere you send Aaron Rodgers, he's going to make that team better, and so the draft picks next year are going to be lower, right? Like if you would send him to the Denver Broncos before the draft, you're getting higher draft picks, because if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Broncos next year, they're going to be a playoff team. They're going to be a Super Bowl contender. So you're drafting like in the late 20s then at that point. So
but let's say that happens, right? Let's play the opposite scenario. Rodgers goes to Denver. Denver goes to a Super Bowl. Tua ends up busting, and we had a chance to get him.
Yeah. Then
you have to play that scenario out.
It's another Drew Brees situation for sure. It's
I want to say Sports Illustrated did an article that said alternate universe. They said if Brees had went to Miami and Belichick, it would have been Saban and Belichick for the last 20 years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Saban probably would have never left here. That was the case. Yeah, you're probably. And then there would have been no Alabama dynasty. Perhaps.
There would have been no Alabama dynasty. I still don't think there would have been a Patriots dynasty. Yeah. And you would have seen Brady and Brees battle it out for the last 20 years in the same division.
That would have been incredible. Yeah, listen, if this is the same thing that I said about Deshaun Watson before all this legal stuff. I'll say it about Aaron Rodgers. If you have the opportunity to at least explore a trade, you have to do it. Now, I don't know. Again, I don't know if Green Bay is even willing to trade him at this point, and I don't know if Miami is even somewhere he wants to go, because I kept hearing about Denver, Vegas, California is where he wanted to be. So I don't know. I don't know if Miami's even a realistic option, but if Chris Greer has even a window, you have to sniff around and see what you can do.
All right, Tua, right? So I look at Tua, and then I see a picture like this show up on the internet. Right?
He's looking good.
Oh my God, dude, that
Wow.
man has that man's muscles has muscles. Okay,
that's fantastic.
The man's been in the lab. He's working out. He's doing his thing. Let me go ahead and let's get off the Watson and Rodgers scenario train.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I truly think is going to happen this year for Tua. You hear about the phrase rookie or sophomore slump. I don't think that's going to happen this year. Here's why, right? Number one, there was no training camp last year. Number two, there was no preseason last year. Number three, there's no Fitzpatrick this year, right? And so you take a combination of all those things, plus offensive coordinator tandem, which by the way, I like that,
mm-hmm.
who is number one goal is to design plays and be successful with somebody like Tua, aka Tua himself, to be successful, not have two different playbooks. And then the other thing to that is I also think that you put a guy you draft. I don't think you draft Jalen Waddle because he was the best player at 6. That's my personal opinion, right? I think you draft Jalen Waddle because he was the best player for Tua at 6.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I think if Tua was not here, I think Dallas would have gotten that trade with Miami that came up yesterday that we heard about online, that Dallas wanted to trade up with Miami at 6 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I think. I think that Miami literally put all their chips in on this kid. And I think this kid, number one, has never really buckled under pressure ever in his career. And that includes last year, in my opinion, when he got benched. Like, he was on the sidelines cheering, clapping, smiling, laughing. And normally you'd say, well, that's a bad thing. No, him and Fitzpatrick had a very unique relationship. So I think this kid is it. I think he is the future. But I've said that before, and I have been wrong. So, a.k.a. Tannehill, a.k.a. John Beck, a.k.a. Chad Henne.
Oh,
so I've been there. Tell me your thoughts on all that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can never be 100% sure because of all the reasons you stated, right? Because I've been 90-95% sure about a lot of different players. I think Tua, he's being underestimated for so many different reasons. You touched on no training camp for him last year. And you look at that photo that you put on the screen of how jacked the dude is looking. He's actually able to focus on himself right now, like focus on improvement in so many different areas with his strength, with his accuracy, with his timing. And at this time last year, I mean, at this time, he could barely walk at this time, but even training camp time last year, he was focusing on rehabbing from hip surgery.
Correct.
Like, that was the only thing he could focus on. So how can you really put in work to become an NFL-ready quarterback when you've got to address your hip injury first and you need to finish rehabbing that before you could focus on anything else? So I think this guy is primed for a breakout year. And, I know that when he was at Alabama, he had so much talent around him, but still he had everything. I think even if he'd played at a small program, I think he would have succeeded because this guy, he's got the pocket awareness. He's got some mobility. He's got really nice touch and accuracy on his throws. I know he doesn't have a rifle for an arm, but his arm is good enough. He's got plenty between the ears. The work ethic is there for him. I think he's going to have a tremendous sophomore campaign in the NFL. And you talked about Jalen Waddle. I can say that not only is Waddle probably the best for Tua, I think he's the best guy to plug and play right now because he can play. He thought Chad Henne was the future.
I did, Solo. I did. I still have an autographed Chad Henne jersey in my closet. I will break that out and put it up.
Oh man, but you just in the case of Jalen Waddle, not only do I think Waddle is the best guy for Tua right now, he's also the best guy to put on the field immediately because you can play him in the slot, and so then you already have Devontae Parker for one boundary and Will Fuller on the outside on the other side. So you can have Parker, Fuller, and Jalen Waddle on the field at the same time. I think that to me,
deadly combination.
That is a recipe for massive success, and that's another one of the reasons why I'm expecting Tua to have a breakout year.
Well, who's the odd man out in that wide receiving core? Is Jakeem Grant back next year? And if so, I mean, I guess that means Albert Wilson isn't here. I mean, who's the odd man out in that wide receiving core?
Yeah, you know, I from what I understand, it sounds like Jakeem may be the odd man out, and I think it has a lot to do with cap money. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Jakeem, but I can kind of see his value in that if you were to keep him around, you use him primarily on special teams. Because I know Jalen Waddle is a dynamic returner, but I don't know how much I actually want to use him returning kicks and punts.
Hey, we did with Ted Ginn.
Well, it's a high percentage injury play is the thing. So I don't know if I want to risk my 6th overall pick too much in that regard. You know, I think it could be tough for Albert Wilson because, you know, when was the last time we saw Wilson play consistently? I mean, 2 years ago.
2 years.
Yeah.
He was hurt the year before and didn't play last year.
Yeah.
He opted out.
He opted out last year. 2 years ago, he was hurt. And listen, I know the NFL gave everybody like a free pass to opt out last year for health concerns. And a lot of players took advantage of it. And the NFL can say all they want to, that we're not going to hold opt-outs against players. But you know they're going to. Like, you know it's inevitable because there's going to be some recency bias. There's going to be a what have you done for me lately? And Albert Wilson.
I mean, that's the NFL period. That's the NFL period.
Yeah. And Albert Wilson hasn't done anything for this team really since 2018. So I would certainly watch out for that one.
Except for the high five scoring against the Raiders with Jakeem Grant going down the beautiful. It's still one of my favorite photos in action. I love it.
Absolutely.
Is Gesicki back next year?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, he to me, and I know that you know I know drafting another tight end had some people thinking, but you know, listen, in today's NFL, you can't have too many dynamic pass catching tight ends, and I think Gesicki he to me can be a game changer. Like he can be a move the chains guy, big red zone threat. He's back.
All right, and then. What do you think of the play calling this year? Because I don't know how good that running back situation is going to be, right? You have Ahmed. You pretty much have a running back by committee. And so this is kind of a two-part question. What do you think about the play calling and then the running back situation? And does that mean that we're going to get Le'Veon Bell? Or does that mean we maybe try to go out and trade for somebody like Kareem Hunt?
I wouldn't mind Kareem Hunt here whatsoever. I think to me it looks like the Dolphins are still trying to address the position because we got the news late last week that they had put in a claim for Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah.
They didn't get him because he didn't fall to them in the waiver wire. That if the Eagles hadn't gotten him, the Dolphins would have. So that, you know, you're not just doing that by coincidence. Like that tells me they're in the market for another running back. You know, I don't dislike any of the Dolphins running backs. I just think that all of them are good second or third guys. And you need another kind of one punch for the 1-2 combination that you have. Like, you know, Myles Gaskin last year when he was on the field was very productive. So, you know, if he can stay healthy, I think he can be pretty good this year. But I still think you need something else in that. And as far as play calling goes, you mentioned the offensive coordinator by committee. And I like it as well. I think people are getting way too hung up on the fact that you're getting 2 offensive coordinators, and
there are a lot of people that
often.
do it. There's so many teams that do it, just unannounced. That's all.
Exactly. That's the big thing. It's the fact that they put the label on it, right? And listen, one of those guys is going to be calling the plays. They're both going to be involved in the game planning. I mean, you know, Eric Studesville is going to be doing. You know, he's going to be basically coordinating the running game and George Godsey the passing game. And then they're going to decide which one of those guys is calling plays on Sunday. But I think that both of them have a great relationship with Tua. And I think that's a really important thing is that both of them really, you know, gelled with him last year. And so, yeah, I think to me, the play calling, it needs to be a little bit more innovative than it was with Chan Gailey last year. And I think you need to get Tua's mobility a little bit more involved this season and run some more read option, some RPO this year. And so I think those are some of the things you have to look at with you know, a new playbook, like the commenter says.
Yeah, new playbook. I doubt a trade for a running back. Kaseki's a goner.
See, I don't know about that, but we'll see.
I mean, he definitely. I mean, I get why they brought in the kid from Boston College.
Yeah,
you know, and he excites me. He excites me a lot. I'm calling it now. Gaskin will rush for 1,000 yards. Marcus,
let's get it.
I hope you're right, big guy.
Let's hope.
All right, man. Look, it has been a pleasure talking with you this morning, man. I appreciate you staying on late with me.
Of course.
You know, I would love to do this more often. Maybe one day we'll have a show together and get to do this every day.
I love it, man.
But
I love
it's a good thing. I'm very excited for our partnership, OnSide Radio, Miami Sports Music. I hope to come on your show the way you've come on my show this morning, and
100%.
We'll just do a lot of things together. And I'd like to see you on here more often, man. Try to get you up here. Try to get the masses of the Miami Dolphin fans speaking with you. And we do what this thing is called a Dolphins Roundtable. And so we'll get on for a couple of hours, sometime in the evening, sometimes on the weekends, and we'll just let people ask us questions, and we'll just go around the roundtable. I'll have to get you on one of those too, because
That's great.
Guys like TD Finns Talk and Doug Lee Do Wrong, and a few of those other people, they would love to be able to talk to you as well as the kids. So, or the other listeners, I call them the kids sometimes because they're all my kids. They're all my family.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, look, man, do you want to promote anything before you go? You got anything big coming up?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we've always got stuff going on at onsideradio.com. You know, I'm on daily there 3 until 6 p.m. And I do a combat sports show Thursday nights called Fight Night. James Walker. In fact, a lot of Dolphin fans probably remember James Walker because he was the ESPN Dolphins beat guy for a number of years. Maybe you guys don't realize he's a huge UFC and boxing fan. So we started doing the show together Thursday night, 7 and 9 p.m. at onsideradio.com. And of course, for every Inter-Miami soccer game, we have them on Onside, and Big O and me, we do the pregame, halftime, and postgame for those.
I'm glad you brought that up. 5 more minutes. Mayweather Paul at the Hard Rock.
Oh, man. First of all, it's going to be an event, right? And, you know, after 15 months of people primarily having nothing to do, that's going to be off the chain, that Mayweather Paul. Now, as a combat sports fan, it's kind of a joke of a fight.
It is.
And so I can tell you exactly what's going to happen because I know the Floyd Mayweather playbook.
So I don't need to spend pay-per-view money? You're going to tell me?
You don't. But if you can come to the event live, that's going to be a good time. I wouldn't recommend spending the pay-per-view money, but for anyone who can get to Hard Rock State, dude, it's going to be a party because Mayweather Promotions and the money team, they always put on a great show. It's going to be a fun event, right? And I know that a lot of the boxing purists are so angry that this is even happening, and I get it, but just don't think of it as boxing. Just think of it more like pro wrestling, okay? Because I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. You know, Floyd Mayweather, he could put away Logan Paul anytime he wanted to, of course. And I know Floyd, he's never been a knockout puncher against professional boxers, but against a non-boxer, Floyd could put that kid down anytime he wanted to. Floyd is going to carry him. Floyd Mayweather is a showman, right? He knows people are spending a lot of money.
He did with McGregor.
He carried him for several rounds. And McGregor is probably a lot more dangerous than Logan Paul. Let's be real here. So Floyd is going to carry Logan Paul for a few rounds. He's going to let him swing at him. He might even let him connect with his chin a couple times because he probably knows this guy's not going to hurt me. And then, round 4 or 5, Mayweather. It's
all fun and games till somebody gets knocked in the mouth, man.
Yeah. And then after a few rounds, Mayweather's going to stop playing with his food and he's going to put him away. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If anyone who wants to spend the pay-per-view money, that's on you. But for anyone in the area, if you can get down to Hard Rock Stadium to watch it live, we'll tailgate. We'll have a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, last thing I want to talk about, just because I am such a huge fan of it. I've been a fan. I remember watching this with my dad back in the Tank Abbott days and the Ken Shamrock days. UFC. I want to talk some upcoming fights and rankings and a little bit of the past fights real quick. So number one, we just had UFC 262 where Oliveira beat Chandler with a TKO in the second round. Correct me if I'm wrong, he hit him he stumbled back, and then he passed out. And I've watched UFC probably 25 years, man. Since I was 10, I've watched UFC. I have never seen a knockout like that where somebody gets hit, comes back up to fight, and then falls out and gets knocked out cold.
Yeah,
he was knocked
like
out
a delayed
cold.
knockout. Yeah.
It was a crazy knockout. I've never seen that.
There really was. And there have been some good knockouts lately in the UFC. Like there was recently this guy, Yuri Prohaska, pulled off a spinning elbow knockout. Stuff like that, man. It's crazy. And that was a big win for Oliveira. Like he became the lightweight champion as a result of that. So no, that was freaking awesome, man. And it was one of those things, like even that pay-per-view last week, you know, it's one of those where it's like, and I bought it because it's kind of part of my job to buy every pay-per-view. I get the tax rebate for that or whatever it is. I put it on my taxes, which is nice. But it's like that wasn't one of those events that screamed out like you have to buy this one. But sometimes the ones that don't look that stacked on paper end up being some of the best shows, right? Because you never know. You never know what to expect. Like I've seen some cards that are stacked that end up being clunkers, like all decisions. And then you get some under the radar cards that have crazy knockouts in them, like that one.
Well, UFC 261 was about 4 weeks ago in Jacksonville. Number one, it was the first event that I'd seen like a packed house full of fans, with the exception of the Texas Rangers on opening day, which was absolutely insane, right? But number one, that UFC 261 card, did you watch it? Number one?
Yeah.
All right. Best fight card I have seen in the last 5 years. Easy.
It was tremendous. And I think a lot of that had to do with the energy from the crowd, right? Because we've been watching shows in basically in empty arenas since, they had a stoppage for a while. I think they resumed in like May of last year, and they've been in like empty arenas since then. So I think the crowd had a lot to do with that, man. But it was tremendous. Like the last couple of pay-per-views have been really good.
Well, then the Chris Weldman. I mean, oh my God, that leg. That leg. So I'm watching the fight with my wife, right? And the best part about UFC is something can happen in a blink of a dime. You can sit down to put a plate down, and all of a sudden the knockout happens, right?
Yeah.
So I'm literally putting my drink down, just turning my head, and my wife screams, "Oh my God!" And I was like, what just happened? What? So they replayed it. And when you saw his leg like rubber, like that break, first of all, the only other time that happened was with Anderson Spider Silva on Chris Weldman's leg. So he's been involved in the only two in UFC history.
Yeah, and then I thought it was actually really cool that Anderson Silva sent him like a really nice statement. Like he wrote a really nice tweet talking about it, you know, because what he'd gone through. Because you're right, he went through the same thing. It was Silva's leg, you know, back, I think it was like 2013 or 2014. And it's like now the shoe is on the other foot, so to speak. So that was wild. And man, it's tough. I've seen a few, and obviously it doesn't just happen in the UFC. You've seen it in every sport. In the NFL, we've seen some really gnarly injuries, and it sucks. Like I've seen a couple of those bad leg breaks. I've seen guys in arm bars where their arms get broken, and kimuras where the arms get broken, and it's always tough to watch, man. Despite the fact that I've been a combat sports fan for decades, I can still get a little bit squeamish when you see things like that. I'm not a fan of the fact that they insist on showing those replays 1,000 times.
They only showed it like 3 or 4 times, but you only need to show it once in today's world.
Right, but then the problem is, you show it once, and then you're on your Twitter timeline, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry is putting it in your time. You're like, why are you putting that in my life again?
It's crazy, and then I got to come on that fight show because I want to be able to talk about.
We'll have you on anytime. Absolutely.
Thug Rose. I mean, oh my
She's
God,
so
that
good.
girl's so good. And then obviously the hometown kid, the
Usman.
Dolphins fan herself, Amanda Nunez. She loves the Dolphins.
Oh, Amanda too. She's great. You
know, Usman, right? Usman is a beast. I really couldn't believe that he beat Masvidal. I was rooting for Masvidal, obviously, but Oh my God, I love UFC.
Usman lives in South Florida as well, so we can still claim him. I mean,
Okay, all right,
yeah,
that's good to know.
He wasn't born and raised here, but he's lived for a number of years in the Fort Lauderdale area, so I can claim him as well.
Do you guys ever have fighters on your show?
Yeah, we do. In fact, yesterday I talked to a lot of boxers because I've got a good PR connection, and yesterday I talked with, and you're going to want to do yourself a favor if you haven't seen this woman. Do a Google image search and you'll thank me later. Bellator fighter Valerie Loretta, Loure.
I know that name.
Oh man, she's a South Floridian. She's a professional fighter with Bellator. She's undefeated. She's also an Instagram model and a very active TikToker. And she's great.
Is she going to be in the UFC anytime soon?
I think so. I think she'll get there. She's in Bellator right now, and she's got a 3-0 and she's been a martial artist her entire life. But since she's only 22 years old, so she made her MMA debut a couple of years ago, and she's off to an undefeated start. She's got a fight this weekend on Showtime. Actually, on Friday night, she's fighting on Showtime. And I think she's going to win this fight as well. And yeah, I would probably think that within the next year or so, we'll be seeing her in the UFC.
Real quick, McGregor's fighting. He's coming up, and the winner of that fight's probably going to get Oliveira. You agree with that?
You never know with McGregor is the thing. But here's the thing. If Poirier wins, which I think he will, then yeah, he'll fight Oliveira for the title. If McGregor wins, your guess is as good as mine because he doesn't work on a normal schedule. Like when you talk about title eliminating fights, fighting on a regular basis, you never know with that guy. He's got so much money. He takes a lot of time
He can
off.
do whatever he wants to do.
He's done like the old Brett Favre thing where he's retired like 3 times and come back. Like he's got a little Floyd Mayweather in his DNA like that, where you never know, is he really retired? Is he coming back? So if Conor McGregor beats Poirier, then and I don't think he will. Poirier beat him. This will be their 3rd time fighting. The first time they fought was like way back in the day, like 2013.
Before they were both big names.
Yeah, right. And then Poirier easily won the rematch. So, but if McGregor wins, I have your guess is as good as mine because if McGregor might think a fight against Oliveira, even if it's for a belt, is not a big enough deal for him, and he may be looking to fight a YouTuber or something. You never know with that guy.
Does Bones Jones come back?
Yeah, he's going to come back. They're negotiating his money because and listen, I side with Bones on this because he wants to fight. He's the former longtime light heavyweight champion. He wants to move up and fight the heavyweight champion, who's Francis Ngannou, who's incredible.
That's going to be a crazy fight.
Yeah, but so far, the UFC has not been able to, or not been
that's
willing.
Dana White. That's Dana
White. He's not been willing to meet Bones Jones's demands because he wants to get paid big time for that fight, and I don't blame him because that's going to be one of the biggest fights in UFC history. So, if this guy wants to make $15 million flat rate plus pay-per-view revenue and bonuses, so he
give
probably
it to him.
Give it to him. Like
exactly UFC. It's funny because UFC gets such a bad rap. Dana gives such a bad rap for not paying his fighters. Now I get the understanding of it, but there's a reason that UFC's been around for so long. They nickel and dime everything, but
well,
I think in this case you got to pay.
Part of it, Steve, is that like people see the money that like the Canelos make, the big time boxers, and they make a lot more on paper than the UFC guys do, which is true. But the thing with the UFC though is their floor is higher, right? So the guy who's 5-6 fights down on the card is making more money than the guy who's 5-6 fights down on the boxing card. So the money's a little bit better.
Never thought about that. That's a good. I never thought about that.
So the money's balanced out a lot more, right? So you can see like, oh my God, like how many, like Floyd Mayweather just made $100 million for this fight, and why is the highest paid UFC fighter making like $10 million for this fight? Well, I mean, it's I'm not saying the UFC system is perfect because they're not very transparent because they're
Dana is not. He's very hush.
Right. So we don't like in sports we follow like the NFL, they have unions and it's like a 50-50 revenue split basically. Mm-hmm. We're not sure what the UFC revenue split is. Like the parent company might be making 80% of the revenue and the fighters are making 20%. We really don't know. We know it's not 50-50. So yeah, the fighters probably deserve a bigger piece of the pie, but the guy who's like the first fight on the prelims is making more money than the first fighter on the prelims in boxing.
Would you be willing if I set something up where we did a live watch where we're watching the UFC fight and we're on a stream?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Maybe we'll set that up for one of the next big UFC fights.
Yeah, I did something like that recently for a soccer game and had a lot of fun. It was the first time I'd ever done that. So yeah, I'm thinking doing that for more stuff might be good.
All right. Well, then I will get in touch with you. Dude, you stuck in with me today, man. I really appreciate it, brother. I love you, man.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming on, man. It was so much fun. We literally talked about everything. And so, look, I'm going to let you go. I don't want to take any more of your time today. I took enough of it already. Enjoy your show this afternoon. And I'm going to talk to you again this afternoon in the crossover.
Yeah,
that's right, baby.
Thank you so much for having me, man. You guys do an awesome thing here. I'm blown away by the setup and the professionalism and everything and all the great listeners and viewers. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Alex. All right, brother. We will see you soon. Have a good one.
See you, man.
All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Alex Donno of OnSide Radio, host of Man of the Match every day, weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. only on OnSide Radio. And then right after his show, you can hear me for 1 hour. Miami sports music for the fans. If you guys haven't heard about that, yesterday was our inaugural show on that. And today we're going to have Big E, the NFL Fan of the Year, for that show. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be a good time there. Super excited about this opportunity and this partnership that we have going on with OnSide Radio. So that'll be fun. Also, tomorrow morning, my guest tomorrow morning is going to be JD DeBoss from the West End Zone crew and the Metro Rail Boys. You guys know Garbage Man. You guys know my boy. That's right. He's going to be our special guest tomorrow. We're going to talk some playoff hockey. We're going to talk, some Heat basketball, some Hurricane talk. And then we're obviously going to talk a lot about the Miami Dolphins. And we want to hear from you, right? So, I definitely want to be able to hear from you guys. True Finns fan. My biggest question for Tua is, with all the hate he gets saying he is trash and everything else, what has he done wrong 1 year other than be a rookie? All right, I will answer this question and then I'm going to go. All right, because I have been on here way too long today. All right, let me get back on here. True, he is not trash. All right, he has not done anything wrong. He was in a situation last year where he was put in to a situation where a veteran quarterback was better designed for the playbook that was there. And the team was so much better than people expected it to be that Flores wanted to give his team the best situation to win. It's not that he didn't believe in Tua. It's just he knew what he had with what he had, right? And so I think now we've been able to change that up, right? We've been able to change that up and say, hey, look, now we have a running back and a playbook that is designed for you. And so that's what's going to happen, right? And so that's what I think. I don't think he's done anything wrong, brother. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to have a crazy year. I'm going to throw it out there. I think Tua has a better year than Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. If Burrow ends up playing, I'm not sure how he is in his rehab or where he is in his rehab, but I think he's going to be fine. I think he'll start week 1. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think that'll happen. Oh, you guys want to ask the questions now, huh? Dwayne said, do you think the Heat get by the Bucks? You guys are killing me with these questions. I want to answer them. Yes, I do think that they will. I think it'll go 6 or 7 games. I actually think it'll probably go 7. But I will say this. If they lose the first 2, they're done. They're done. There's no way they come back down 2-0 in this series. So they have to split the first 2. And even if they went down 3-1, I still think that it's that first 2, right? It's just getting that started off. So I think that the Heat will – I think they can do it. Do I think they are going to do it? I'm not so sure, right? So we'll have to see about that. JD Diesel, who will you got? Hey, look, I'm going on overtime here. I'm gonna put this, you guys. Let me put this in the comment section because JD, I'm gonna answer. Make sure you donate to the channel. All right. I'm in overtime here, people. My wife is mad at me that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, my fatherly duties. All right. Donate to the channel and get your comments seen and put on the show. Your donation helps our channel grow, right? YouTube Live, hit the super chat. I'm going to answer your questions real quick because now they're coming in like hotcakes. You guys are killing me. You had all show to ask me these questions, but I love you guys. I love you. You want to know why? Because he gave me 30 likes today. Tomorrow I need 40. I need 40 likes from y'all. All right, JD, let me go back to you, brother. Where you at? Where's JD's? Who will be the biggest disappointment? I say Preston, unfortunately. I mean, the question is, does Preston Williams even make the team? That's one. Who I think will be the biggest disappointment? I think it'll be Mascara. I think our coaching staff. Let me rephrase what I'm about to say. I trust Flores. But the question put on the table to me is who I think will be the biggest disappointment. I think it'll be center. I think that will be a glaring weakness for us. And I hope that that's not the case. I hope that Greer and Flores know something that I don't know. But I live up here in Baltimore. I saw Skuro play. Not impressed with the guy. That's all I'm going to say about that, right? All right. Biggest disappointment is Jakeem Grant or Albert Wilson. If they make it now, it'll be a competition. Dwayne says Knicks in 5 over the Hawks. Oh, that's a gimme. But, hey, it'll be the first time the Knicks have won a playoff series in, like, forever. Chef Jew, 30 likes today. That's right, Chef. We did get that today. Preston. Preston can ball when healthy. JD Dizia. I got you, bro. I got you. Or even Foster from the Bills. Not sure if there's room for him. Potential trade value. No way Buffalo's going to trade in the division. But I'm not saying that he won't get released and he won't be able to sign here. Here's what I'll say. The running back for us is not on our roster yet. I think Gaskins will be the number 2. I think he has a big chance to be the everyday back. But we are going to have another running back that will get a lot of the carries that is not currently on the roster as of this moment. So I don't know who that is. I really don't know who that is. But is it Le'Veon Bell? Is it trade value in Kareem Hunt? I don't know. But I would guess that the running back that becomes one of our big X factors at that position, besides Gaskins, is not on the roster as a 5'18". And that's what I think about that. Right. So make sure, that's my thoughts on that. All right, guys, one last time, man. Donate to the channel. If you guys want me to keep on answering these questions and getting yelled at by my wife later, donate to the channel, get your comments seen, donate to the Super Live. Also, man, I want to see more members, man. I would love to see a couple of new members from the show today. If you want to, the new YouTube membership, join today. There's a couple of different options. There's 3 different classes: DWA, DWA for Life, and DWA Loyalty. I definitely would love to see you guys join the crew, like Chef Zhu, like my man Vic this morning. We definitely love what they have. TD says, no, don't go. TD, man. I've been doing this all morning, dude. You were up for 4 hours last night, though, man. I watched like the last hour of your stuff last night. Why I should have been working, getting ready for the show today. But yeah, man, I love you, brother. We're gonna have you up here again soon. Dwayne said that's bad news for Gaskins. He is able to take on all comers because of his attitude. I don't know what you mean by that, except to say that, as far as I'm concerned, I thought Gaskins was good. Like, I thought he was okay. I don't think he's an every down back, right? I don't think he's going to be the workhorse. That's my thoughts on him. I don't think he's going to be the workhorse of this team. And so that is my thoughts of what happens with him. Again, I'll say it one last time. The running back that will become an X factor for this team is not currently on the roster as of today. That's my thoughts on that, right? All right, guys. We're coming up at the end here. I loved talking with you all today. It was so much fun. All right, look, Marcus says, I think we draft a running back high next year. Oh, if we don't, God forbid, TD and is going to have a crazy fit if that doesn't happen. I will too, for that matter. Right? Like I wanted to see Javonte, but I know that's not who we were going to get because we turned in that Javon card so quickly. Javon Holland card, who, by the way, I think is going to be a beast. Right? I think we got arguably two of the top 5 best defensive players of the draft this year, and Javon Holland and Jalen Phillips. Yeah, totally think that. The running back will come next year in the draft. Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I mean, it'll be fun watching college football this year because I'm going to keep a close eye on the running backs. That's my hope. And I'm also going to keep a close eye on the center. So my hope next year is we address center and we address running back. And those are the 2 things that I kind of hope we look at. So if you're a college football fan and you don't really care who you're watching, you just want to watch competitive college football, those are the 2 positions you want to look out for. Who's a good running back who could potentially help this team next year, and who's a center that could start day one that the Dolphins could go get. Because I would love to see them go get a day one starter in the draft at center. And then that would kind of complete the trifecta of everything we need from centers, guards, and tackles, right? So we'll see how it goes. Tomorrow on the show, I want you guys to know I will be again with JD DeBoss, right? JD DeBoss. I'm pretty excited about JD coming on and being my guest tomorrow. It will definitely be good. I want to see you guys there. Support the show. Also, this afternoon, I want you guys to come on to OnSide Radio on YouTube this afternoon. So this afternoon, if you're not doing anything, go to OnSide Radio. Check out our new show for the fans. My guest today is going to be Big E. All right, NFL Fan of the Year. So I'm super excited about that. You guys will enjoy that a lot. And we went big into the overtime today. Pretty sure I'm going to get in trouble here. So we're definitely going to have to keep it on time tomorrow. So look, I love you guys. I appreciate the support. Again, please donate to the channel and also subscribe or subscribe, like this, share it. As soon as it's over, make sure you share the link with everybody. Tell them to watch the show today. It was an awesome show. And remember to become a YouTube member for Miami Sports Music. We're going to have a lot of exclusive content for the members coming up here as we start building up that list. And also some great giveaways for some DWA swag. So I want to see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. Spread kindness as always. Fins up. Miami Sports Music. Love you guys. Clock blockers.